night. Stockton back to the 500 mark at an even 12-12. And with the loss, Rancho now falls to the basement of the South at 10-15. Of course, just 5.5 games back of the Lake Elsinore Storm at 15-9. So still a lot of baseball left to be played here in the second half. Again, Stockton is 4.5 back of San Jose. And the Giants, they do things the right way. They continue to win, beating Bakersfield 11-2 yesterday in game 1 of their series, as Gregorio Martinez got the victory, now 5-6. And San Jose at 17-8. They have won 2 in a row and 7 of their last 10 ball games. Again, they're 10-4 at home, 7-4 on the road, and 13-6 against the Cal League North. So they do it and do it right. Again, the Stockton Ports with the victory last night. We're trying to get back to the 500 mark on the road. Now 4-5 on the road. But 8-7 at home, kind of a changing of fortune for the Stockton Ports, because again, it was tough for us to get victories at home in the first half. And we've got a couple of really good homestands to start things off in the second half of the season. Well, again, we are ready in just a few moments for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Dallas Braden on the mound in his return, the Stockton native. Should be a lot of fun. Hope to have you on board for that as well. We're going to take a real quick 90-second breather here in the Dr. Pepper pregame show. And when I come back, some more scores in the California League and the starting lineups here for Game 2. So stay tuned. Back in 90 seconds on the press box of the Epicenter here on 1420 KSTN.
Since 1950, California Welding Supply has been serving the area with 4 stores conveniently located in Stockton, Lodi, Manteca, and Tracy. California Welding Supply is a local welding supply company with a large stock of inventory, knowledgeable sales staff, authorized service department, on-site gas plant, and a variety of rentals to complete your job. California Welding Supply offers friendly old-time service in response to your requests quickly. Call them at 466-8604. That's 466-8604. Or come by and see them under the Center Street Bridge at 817 South Center Street. California Welding Supply looks forward to working with you. For good times and great food, come to the Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar in Stockton. You'll love the casual family atmosphere. There's tons of video games for the kids, internet, golf, and your favorite music playing on the jukebox. And the Graduate is a great place to have a party. They have a full menu with items for every taste bud. Hot wings, burgers, awesome pizza, and even salads. So stop by for lunch or dinner. The Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar, 2207 Country Club Boulevard, just east of I-5.
Ladies, some dessert today?
Okay.
I highly recommend the Diet Dr. Pepper. The flavor is divine.
That sounds good.
Frankly, I don't know why they even call it a diet.
How is that prepared?
We'll begin by gently pouring the rich, luscious Diet Dr. Pepper over ice cubes until the sweet, refreshing goodness rises to a golden halo of fizz.
Yum. Make it 2.
With a flavor this rich and rewarding, there's nothing diet about it. It's not a diet. It's a Diet Dr. Pepper.
You're listening to the Stockton Ports Dr. Pepper pregame show on your only station for Ports baseball all season long. 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here live from the Epicenter in Rancho, Cucamonga, as we get ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series. But getting an early jump here in the national anthem, so you are just in time for that, and we'll pause and bring you right along for that, the national anthem here in Rancho, Cucamonga. welcome. And now getting ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Stockton Ports and the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Once again, I'm Bo Fulcinetti broadcasting live here from the press box of the Epicenter. Good pitching matchup last night. We hope today will be the same as, again, it's the return of Dallas Braden. Left-hander will be on the mound in the bottom half of the first, and we'll talk more about him when he toes the rubber in the bottom half of the first inning. As for the Stockton Ports here in Game 2, managed by one Todd Steverson, their starting 9 looks a little bit like this. Leading things off in his second base will be Eddie Cornejo's done a nice job as the top half fielder for the Stockton Ports in his return. Batting second and in center field, Nick Blasey. Batting third and in right field is Myron Leslie. And the cleanup spot at the DH position is John McCurdy, and what a hot streak he has been on as of late. Had the big 2 RBI double in yesterday's 7th inning. Batting 5th and at third is Brian Snyder. And the 6-0 at first is Haas Pratt. Batting 7th and in left field is Luis Perez. Batting 8th and at shortstop is Gregorio Petit. And batting 9th and catching will be Matt Singleton. As for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes defensively, first in the outfield from left to right, it's Drew Toussaint in left, Josh LeBlanc in center, Cody Fuller in right field. In the infield from left to right, it's Freddy Sandoval at third, Sean Rodriguez at short, Ryan Leahy's the man at second, Ben Johnson at first, Michael Collins behind the dish. And, of course, it is Carl Jelena on the mound, the right-hander, 6'4", 202-pounder. Comes in with a win-loss record of 1-3 and an ERA of 5.55. Now in his 7th appearance of the season, Jelena in 35 2/3 innings of work has given up a total of 22 earned runs on 46 hits while striking out 24, walking 5. Batters are batting .305 against them. So we'll see what the Stockton Ports have up their sleeve here tonight. Again, Stockton coming off the victory last night by a final score of 8-4. Got a great start from Jason Ray, who got the win, now 4-2. And they did it against a good prospect for the Quakes who took the loss. That is Nick Adenhart, who is now 2-1 for the Ports, and an even 12-12 on the season. And we'll see if they can jump above the 500 mark here in Game 2. Sunshine and blue skies tucked in the heart of the San Gabriel Mountains here in Southern California, getting ready for Game 2 as Eddie Cornejo steps in from the left side. It is daycare day here at the ballpark, an afternoon special. Here's the first pitch. And a called strike of the inside corners. The count is 0-1. And we are underway for Game 2 of this 3-game series. First pitch time of 7 after 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. One misses off the plate on the count, even in a ball and a strike apiece. I'm glad to have you with us. This will be a good matchup this afternoon. Stockton trying to continue their 6-game road trip on the right foot as that pitch misses outside on the count. 2 balls and a strike to Eddie Cornejo. And Braden will get the nod and probably go more than 50 or 60 pitches, but still a very rested bullpen. So it should be a good one. Here's the 2-1. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eddie Cornejo. And Cornejo coming in batting .333. No home runs and 8 RBIs. His on-base percentage of .446. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, found back to the screen again. And the count still even at 2-2 to Eddie Cornejo. Was the leadoff man in yesterday's ball game. Had a 1-for-5 with an RBI single and a run scored as part of that 5-run 7th inning for the Stockton Ports. Here's the wind of the 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and a flare to the shortstop. Off the glove of Rodriguez. Triples into left center field. And that'll be a leadoff single for Eddie Cornejo. We start the ball game as it brings up the center fielder, Nick Blasey. Blasey coming in batting .253, 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. So the Ports have the leadoff base runner on to start this ball game. And Carl Jelena will be in the stretch now for the first time here today as he looks in and gets the signs from his battery mate, Michael Collins. Collins was the DH in yesterday's ball game as Ben Johnson took the duties behind the plate for Rancho. Here's the pitch. There's a swing and a hot shot left center field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Stopping at second base will be Eddie Cornejo. So back-to-back singles for the Stockton Ports to start this top half of the first, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Myron Leslie. Switch hitter batting .282, 13 home runs and 66 RBIs. He will be batting from the left side against the right-hander. He has really settled in nicely in right field. Made a couple of good plays yesterday defensively. And we all know what he's been able to do with the bat, especially as of late as the numbers continue to rise. And an RBI situation already with 2 on, no outs. Here's the stretch, set above the letters, the pitch. And a called strike in the outside corners. The count is 0-1 to Myron Leslie. Leslie in yesterday's ball game was slotted in the 3-hole. Had a 2 for 5 with 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. Again, his 66 runs batted in now leads the team. Here's the 0-1. That one swung unlifted down the left field line, foul and out of play. And the count is 0-2 to Myron Leslie. Gorgeous afternoon here in Southern California. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, nobody out. Jelena in the stretch. We'll see what the catcher Collins decides to set up shop. He is on the inside corner. Here is the stretch. And the 0-2 pitch. Check swing from Leslie. That one misses just a bit inside. And the count 1-2 now on the Stockton Ports right fielder. And yesterday, a pitcher's duel that was knotted out to 3 apiece for much of the ball game until the Ports have that big 5-run 7th inning to pull away. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one misses inside. And the count even at 2-2 now to Myron Leslie. See if he gets something good to hit right here. And Jelena again gets the sign. Setting up outside is Collins. Set at the letters. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Here's a swing and a flare into right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Rounding third will be Corneo. He'll come in to score. He'll throw up the stop sign on Blazy. But an RBI single for Myron Leslie and the Stockton Ports. First to jump on the scoreboard. They take a 1-0 lead in the top half of the first. 67th RBI of the season for Leslie. And 3 straight singles for the Stockton Ports to start off this ball game. And already time is called as they have a quick conference on the mound. Trying to settle him down a little bit. Again, it's the pitching coach Eric Bennett out there talking with his young right-hander. So the Ports are run on 3 hits and still no outs. They're taking the 1-0 lead, and that brings up John McCurdy. McCurdy batting .300 on the nose with 10 home runs and 33 RBIs. And John McCurdy in yesterday's ball game batted in the 5-hole and had that big 2 RBI double that really keyed that 5-run 7th. As he steps in from the right side again, he has been hot as of late. We talked about the stats yesterday, but we'll tell you again today, coming into the ball game here. John McCurdy batting at an even .400 in his last 5 games. He is 8 for his last 20 with 3 runs scored and 5 RBIs. And he has an RBI situation right here. Blazy at third base, Leslie at first, no outs, first pitch. And a called strike in the inside corners. The count is 0-1 to John McCurdy. Take a look at the starting lineup here for Stockton. This is in baseball what they call the Sunday lineup, but of course an afternoon game here with the stretch. And the 0-1 pitch as that one misses inside of the count. Even at 1-1, a couple of changes. Obviously, Haas Pratt in to play first base for Tommy Everidge. So Everidge gets the blow. He may come in off the bench later in the ballgame if need be. Behind the plate, it's Matt Singleton instead of course, Landon Powell gets a rare breather. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first. And Leslie back in there safely. And Perez is in left field. He's been really platooning all year with Cameron Coughlin. Coughlin gets the breather, but again, his switch hitting capabilities and base stealing capabilities may keep him as a guy to come off the bench later in the ball game as well. Here's the stretch in the 1-1. Breaking ball swung on and skied foul. First base side. That'll find its way into the seats. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to John McCurdy. Again, 1-0 Stockton here in the top of the first. 2 on, no outs. Lazy at third base. Leslie at first base. Sports has started out this ballgame with 3 straight singles. There's the right-hander. Jelena looks in, gets the sign, setting up outside is Collins. The 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss and a breaking ball low and away. So McCurdy goes down swinging for the first out of the ballgame. And the first strikeout for Jelena as well. And that'll bring up third baseman Brian Snyder. So we'll see if Snyder can capitalize on this RBI opportunity as well. There's a first and third, one down as the Ports third baseman steps into the box. Snyder comes into the ball game here batting .288 with 1 home run and 8 RBIs. Here's the stretch. Set above the letters. The pitch. And a fastball in the outside corner. Misses a little bit low. And the count of 1-0 to Brian Snyder. Well, we had a couple of flamethrowers in yesterday's ball game. Talk about Jason Ray. Topped out at about 94 on the guns. And it was Nick Aidenhart for the Quakes that topped out at 97. Here's the 1-0. There's a swing and a hard hit ball fairly deep to left field. Back to the warning track to the wall. It's off the wall. Coming in to score is Blazy. Leslie's going to get waved home. Here comes the throw. That'll be cut off. So he scores a 2 RBI stand-up double for Brian Snyder. And the Stockton Ports have taken a 3-0 lead here in the top half of the first inning. One carrying off the wall in left center, and that was half a foot shy of being a 3-run home run, but it is a 2 RBI stand-up double for Brian Snyder. So the Ports up 3-0, still just 1 out here in the top of the first, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Haas Pratt. Haas Pratt getting an opportunity to play at first here today, batting .227, no home runs and 8 RBIs. Lost some time at first back in the Lancaster series in May when Tommy Everidge had to leave for personal reasons. There's a swing and a miss and a breaking ball going away, and the count is 0-1 to Haas Pratt, former Arkansas Razorback. Snyder leading off the bag at second. Here is the stretch in the 0-1. And then there's a swing and a chopper right in front of the plate in fair territory. Collins has it. He'll make the quick throw down to first, and that'll be out number 2. Here in the top half of the first inning. Once again, Snyder stays put at the bag at second. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Luis Perez. So Luis Perez will step in, batting .260, 4 home runs and 26 RBIs. Still an RBI opportunity with Snyder at second base, but there are 2 outs. As he steps in for the right side, and oh, how clutch he was back in the 9-game homestand that ended a few ball games ago. Talked about his clutch performance on July 4th with that 2 RBI single up the middle. That really set the tone for the whole homestand for him. There's a called strike in the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Luis Perez. And Perez has cooled off as of late. He is batting .280 in his last 10 ball games. Here's the stretch. A look at second, the 0-1 from Jelena. There's a swing and a flare into left center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. And Todd Severson's going to send home Brian Snyder. Here comes the throw. It will be cut off. An RBI single for Luis Perez, and the Stockton Ports have now taken a 4-0 lead here in the top half of the first. We talked about how important in some of the series that we've had as of late, the San Jose series at San Jose Municipal that ended on Sunday, how important it was to get ahead early and often, and how other teams have been answering the call. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Braden on the mound in the bottom half of the first, because every time the Ports take 2 steps forward, so does the opposition. So now with a 4-0 lead, we'll see if the Ports can take advantage and give Braden a good cushion here as Petit steps in. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first as Perez back in there safely. Jelena in the stretch. And comes set above the letters. Here's the pitch. And a fastball on the outside corner. Misses 1 ball and no strikes to count to Petit. And batting .248, 5 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Back at the shortstop position with Pennington on the DL. Here's the stretch of the 1-0. There's a swing and a foul ball. First base side and out of play. And the count even at 1-1 to Petit. Ports with 4 runs and 5 hits here in the ball game. 4 singles and a 2 RBI double for Brian Snyder. Jelena in the stretch. Setting up inside is Collins. Set above the letters, the 1-1. Fastball, a called strike. Here's the throw and a stolen base attempt. Sliding in there and out at second base will be Luis Perez on a caught stealing, and that will retire the side here in the first. But the Ports announced their presence with authority here this afternoon. They get 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and after the caught stealing, none left on base. We're through 1/2 frame here at the epicenter as we shift gears to the bottom half of the first. It's 4-0 Ports on 1420 KSTN.
Life can be full of risks. If you're self-employed or an individual, you already know that you take risks every day. But one thing you shouldn't take risk with is your family's health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company to get it now. If you have health insurance, call Mega and see if they can give you better coverage at a better rate. Mega helps tons of small business owners and individuals. You can reach Mega 24 hours a day at 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Don't take risks with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. Without the right health insurance plan, you could be in trouble. For affordable health insurance, call 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Home office, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not available in all states, and benefits may vary by state.
Next up, a tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, what you
Now that's cool, but there's more to it. Because every sip is a chicken mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more. You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music in your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
Hello, Uri here. Did you know that there is a delicious new ice-cold Smirnoff Twisted 5? It's wild grape flavor. New Smirnoff Twisted 5 Wild Grape.
Please drink responsibly. Copyright 2005, the Smirnoff Company, Norwalk, Connecticut. Smirnoff Twisted 5, premium malt beverage, made in the USA.
Don't wait any longer. Find relief today. If you suffer from headaches, neck, or back pain, go to Quality Chiropractic. Whether you've been injured in the car, at work, or on the field, Dr. Mike Harrison can help you. He specializes in whiplash, laser therapy, and lumbar disc decompression therapy. Dr. Mike doesn't use drugs or surgery. He treats the cause of your pain. Go to qualitychiropractic.net or call 957-9901. Find relief from pain today at Quality Chiropractic, 5637 North Pershing Avenue in Stockton.
Are you looking for a retirement community that's full of life? Then look to Rio Las Palmas Gracious Retirement Living. You'll be impressed with our affordable upscale community featuring both independent and assisted living. We feature a variety of planned activities, personalized care, quality dining, and a monthly rental with all amenities included. Come tour our facility in Stockton at 877 East March Lane or call 209-957-4711. Rio Las Palmas Gracious Retirement Living. The life you want with friends you know.
For good times and great food, come to the Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar in Stockton. You'll love the casual family atmosphere. There's tons of video games for the kids, internet, golf, and your favorite music playing on the jukebox. And the Graduate is a great place to have a party. They have a full menu with items for every taste bud. Hot wings, burgers, awesome pizza, and even salads. So stop by for lunch or dinner. The Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar, 2207 Country Club Boulevard, just east of I-5. Since 1950, California Welding Supply has been serving the area with 4 stores conveniently located in Stockton, Lodi, Manteca, and Tracy. California Welding Supply is a local welding supply company with a large stock of inventory, knowledgeable sales staff, authorized service department, on-site gas plant, and a variety of rentals to complete your job. California Welding Supply offers friendly old-time service and responds to your request quickly. Call them at 466-8604. That's 466-8604. Or come by and see them under the Center Street Bridge at 817 South Center Street. California Welding Supply looks forward to working with you.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here in the bottom half of the first inning, live from the epicenter in Rancho, Cucamonga. It's 4-0 Stockton on top of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, and there's a swing and a high drive deep to left center field. If it's a fair ball, it's a 3-run homer for the Quakes, and it is. Wow, did not want to bring you back to that news after Rancho starting off the inning with a pair of singles from Sutton and Sandoval off of Dallas Braden. There's a 3-run homer right over the wall, and that makes it a 4-3 ball game here in the bottom half of the first. There's 4 pitches deep into the inning, and Nate Sutton started with a single, then Freddy Sandoval a single of his own. And a 3-run homer there for Sean Rodriguez, his 20th home run of the season. And we are now staring at a 4-3 ball game. As it brings up the catcher, Michael Collins. We'll talk about Braden in 1 second. Collins steps in batting .301, 6 home runs, 59 RBIs. This time is called. In Dallas, Braden, the 24th round selection in 04 out of Texas Tech and Stockton native, making his return to the Ports in 2006. Here's the first pitch on the way, and the called strike at the outside corners. The count is 0-1 to Michael Collins. 6'1", 183 pounds. Coming off of shoulder injuries that put him on his shelf for most of the season so far. Had a few outings in the Arizona League. Here's the 0-1. And the called strike in the inside corners. The count is 0-2 now to Collins. Had 3 starts in the Arizona League on the 4th, 9th, and 14th of July. Did not give up an earned run in 9 total innings of work and struck out 6 in that time frame as well. Here's the 0-2. That one swung on and took foul first base side and out of play. And the count is 0-2 to Michael Collins. Well, some innings only has given up 3 earned runs on the 3-run home run from Sean Rodriguez after the pair of singles from Nate Sutton and Freddy Sandoval. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Had a breaking ball outside, and that'll be out number 1 and strikeout number 1 for Dallas Braden as it brings up the first baseman, Ben Johnson. So Johnson, who took the duties behind the dish, is now at first base here in Game 2. He comes in batting .250. 12 home runs and 40 runs batted in. Braden from the left side winds and delivers the pitch. And a breaking ball misses inside as the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Ben Johnson. And quickly the wind of the 1-0. Fastball swung on and driven out towards right center field. Shading over towards right center is Blasey there to make the catch, and he will put that away for out number 2 in the first. And it'll bring up the right fielder, Cody Fuller. Fuller batting .293, 3 home runs and 23 RBIs. And he steps in from the right side. Now it's Braden in the much-anticipated return, and probably will be on a pitch count of no higher than 60. Here's the pitch. That one misses inside. The count is 1 ball and no strikes to Cody Fuller. He was, of course, the Oakland A's minor league pitcher of the year. Combined 15 wins with both Stockton and Midland. There's a swing and a punch shot towards the first base side, wide of the bag and out of play. And this out into the seats. And the count even at 1-1 now to Cody Fuller. In line score of the ball game, if you're just tuning in, the Ports 4 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. For the Quakes, 3 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And That one on the inside corner misses. 2 balls and a strike to count to Cody Fuller. And here is the 1-2-1 pitch. That one swung on a foul tip, caught by the catcher Singleton, and the count even at 2-2. Again, the outfield from left to right for Stockton is Luis Perez and left, Nick Blasey in center, and Myron Leslie in right field. For the infield from left to right, Brian Snyder's at third, Gregorio Petit at short, Eddie Cornejo at second, Hans Pratt at first, Matt Singleton is the man behind the dish, and Braden on the mound as that one fouled back. The count still even at 2-2. And, of course, after Cody Fuller, it's Ryan Leahy, Drew Toussaint, and Josh LeBlanc. 7, 8, 9 portion of the Rancho lineup. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 outs. We'll see if Braden can end things right here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And the fastball misses inside. And that's the count running full now at 3-2 to Cody Fuller. Fuller in yesterday's ball game batted in the 7-hole. Had a 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Was also hit by a pitch and scored a run. Here's the 3-2 payoff. There's a swing and a high drive out towards left center field. And Luis Perez is going to watch that fly away. A solo homer and off the bat at Cody Fuller, and no doubt about it, we got a tie ball game here in the bottom half of the first. Luis Perez barely even moved as he watched it fly away in the left center field. Over the wall, and second home run of the inning. We are now knotted up at 4 apiece, and on to bring up the second baseman, Ryan Leahy. He'll also bring a trip out to the mound from pitching coach Scott Emo Emerson. This is exactly what we talked about last half inning. It's happened pretty much against San Jose, and we talked about High Desert as well back in the homestand. Every time the Ports jump out on top, opposition's been able to answer the call, and obviously Dallas Braden in his first start back here with the Ports in 06, not knowing too much what to expect, and on a very short pitch count, but he has given up 2 home runs. 3-run shot from Rodriguez, his 20th of the season, and for Cody Fuller, a solo shot of his own. But just like that, we are all tied up again at 4 apiece. And it's got to be a good peace of mind for Quakes pitcher Colonel Jelena after getting up those 4 runs. Now with a tie ball game to work with as Leahy will dig in. Here's the first pitch from Braden. There's a swing and a high drive out towards left center. This one will stay in the park. Shifting over is Nick Blasey. He will make the catch, put it away, and that will retire the side in the first. An eventful first inning for both sides. Again, Rancho ties things up. They score 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and none left. As we're through 1 and we head to 2. All tied up at 4 apiece between the Ports and Quakes. In back in a few moments for the second inning on 1420 KSTN.
Hello, Uri here. Did you know that there is a delicious new ice-cold Smirnoff Twisted 5? It's wild grape flavor. New Smirnoff Twisted 5 Wild Grape.
Please drink responsibly. Copyright 2011 The Smirnoff Company, Norwalk, Connecticut. Smirnoff Twisted 5 Premium Milk Beverage made in the USA.
Are you looking for a retirement community that's full of life? Then look to Rio Las Palmas Gracious Retirement Living. You'll be impressed with our affordable upscale community featuring both independent and assisted living. We feature a variety of planned activities, personalized care, quality dining, and a monthly rental with all amenities included. Come tour our facility in Stockton at 877 East March Lane or call 209-957-4711. Rio Las Palmas Gracious Retirement Living. The life you want with friends you know.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are through 1 as we head to 2, and, well, a very eventful first inning for both sides. A 4-4 tie. Ports with 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Quakes 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors. And again, well, Jelena will be on the mound for his second inning of work. Yeah, well, he's got 8-9-1 to face. Gregorio, Petit, Matt Singleton, and then top half of the order, Eddie Cornejo. As Petit will step in, a fresh ball strike count. Of course, he was at the plate in the first inning when Luis Perez got caught stealing to end the frame. Batting .248, 5 home runs and 41 RBIs. First pitch on the way and a called strike. On the outside corners, the count is 0-1 to Gregorio Petit. Jelena in the line. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Off speed and a called strike. On the inside corner, and the count is quickly 0-2. Forts chipped away with 5 hits in the first, capped off by the 2 RBI double from Brian Snyder. There's a swing and a high chopper. Shortstop position, charging is Rodriguez. Makes the throw, and Petit is retired. 1 down, brings up the catcher, Matt Singleton. Well, Quakes did it a different way, getting their 4 runs off of 2 homers, a 3-run shot for Sean Rodriguez, and a solo blast for Cody Fuller. And Rodriguez, and what a season that he has had here for the Quakes. Rodriguez now with 20 home runs, second in the league behind Mark Reynolds, who has 23 for Lancaster. Here's the pitch, a called strike in the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Matt Singleton. It also makes 4 home runs now for Rodriguez against Stockton. Here's the swing and a bouncer up the middle. Charging hard Rodriguez, a throw on the run. And he gets Singleton for out number 2. That looks like a surefire single up the middle, but a lot of range for Rodriguez. As he fields it cleanly behind the bag at second, and a strong throw on the run off his back foot. So 2 up and 2 down. It brings up top half of the order, and second baseman Eddie Cornejo. Cornejo 1 for 1, a single with a run scored in the first. Batting from the left side against the right-hander. Here's the line from Jelena and the pitch. Swung on, lifted foul, third base side and out of play, and the count is 0-1 to Eddie Cornejo. And here is the whine of the 0-1 pitch. That one misses off the plate, and the count even at a ball and a strike apiece. And Dallas Braden, I'm sure, will come to pitch the second. Hopefully he can log a solid frame as that one swung on, lifted foul and out of play in the count 1-2. Very highly touted left-hander, and again, the 2005 A's minor league pitcher of the year with 15 total wins combined from his time in Stockton and then in Midland. Slowed this offseason by shoulder problems and working his way back to full strength. Here's the whine of the 1-2 pitch. Here's a swing and a high drive out towards right, fairly deep. A one-hopper off the wall over the head of Cody Fuller. Rounding first, heading towards second is Cornejo. Here comes the throw. It is short. He will slide in there safely with a 2-out double to keep the second inning alive, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Nick Blasey. Blasey 1 for 1, a single with a run scored in the first. Ball off the bat of Cornejo, and Fuller going back, nothing he could do, played it off the wall. So the Forts are runner in scoring position with 2 outs as Blasey steps in. Again, he singled and scored in his first at bat as well. And here's the stretch, set above the letters. The pitch, breaking ball, misses up and in. And the count is 1-0 to Nick Blasey. Forts now 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors to the Quakes. 4 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Here's the stretch. A look at second. Right-hander now in the line, the 1-0. And the called strike at the outside corner, and the count even at 1-1. Cornejo leads off the bag at second. Again in the stretch. Jelena takes a long look over. Now a throw back to the bag at second, and Cornejo slides back in there safely with a head-first effort. One ball and 1 strike, 1 on, 2 outs here in the top half of the second. A 4-4 tie between the Forts and Quakes. You get a feeling with the way the first inning has gone, this may be a long afternoon for both sides. That pitch in the inside corner misses low, and the count 2-1. Waiting on deck is Myron Leslie. Again, there are 2 outs. Here is the stretch. Jelena comes set. 2-1 pitch. Here's a swing and a hot shot up the middle. Backhanded by Leahy. Drops it. Now does not have a throw to first. Throws to third. Now they got Cornejo in a rundown between third and home. And they apply the tag as he tries to slide back into the bag, and he is out at third base. With that, we'll retire the side here in the second inning, and what a strange ending to the inning it was. For the Stockton Forts, they get no runs, one hit, no errors, and one man left on base. As we're through 1.5, we head to the last half of the second. The 4-4 tie between the Forts and Quakes here on 1420 KSTN.
A decade ago, you probably never imagined you'd be where you are now. Kids, marriage, steady job, whatever your story, there's one universal truth. We all need tires and wheels and brakes and whatever else cars need. Les Schwab makes it easy. I don't have to fill out a bunch of rebates or clip them out in a coupon. I just walk in and ask for a great deal.
Sudden service, supermarket selection, and the legendary warranty you don't pay extra for. No gimmicks, just great deals. Summer fun starts at the Les Schwab side.
Camping, shopping, a road trip to someplace new and exciting? Before you pack up and hit the road this summer, drive into your local Les Schwab Tire Center. Get a free tire, brake, and battery check. If you need tires, save on the Wildcat AT, Z800 Ultra, and more. And, of course, everything you buy at Les Schwab comes with the legendary warranty you don't pay extra for. Learn more at leschwab.com. Let the summer fun begin now at the Les Schwab sign.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Forts. Only on 1420 KSTN.
We are through 1.5 as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. An interesting way to end the inning in the top half of the frame. Again, the scoring decision on that was, in fact, an infield single for Blasey. They had no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and one man left on base after the 4-5-2 that retired Cornejo in the rundown between third and home. So here in the bottom half of the second, still knotted up at 4 apiece. The Forts 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. And the Quakes 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors. It is Dallas Braden who will start the second inning, and he will face 8-9-1. It'll be Drew Toussaint, Josh LeBlanc, and then top of the order DH Nate Sutton. In not the first inning Braden would have liked to have had, gave up 2 home runs in the first frame, a 3-run shot for Rodriguez, and a solo home run for Cody Fuller. So we'll see what the Stockton native does here in inning number 2. Heard a lot of good things about the southpaw, and as his numbers last year speak for themselves. Finding his way back from shoulder troubles to make his return to Stockton, and I'm sure he'd like to climb back up the Oakland A's ladder. Here is the wind and the pitch. And a fastball swung on the foul back, first base side and out of play as the count is 0-1 to Drew Toussaint. Again, batting .240 on the season. 10 home runs, 29 RBIs. Braden winds and delivers the 0-1. The swing and a miss to the breaking ball outside. And the count quickly 0-2 now to Drew Toussaint. Let's see where the catcher Singleton sets up. He's in the outside corner. Here's the 0-2. And a breaking ball misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the line of the 1-2 pitch. That one misses low. And the count running even at 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Toussaint. Then Stockton, the big 4-run top half of the first inning, and Rancho not taking much time to answer the call with the 2 home runs in the bottom half of the frame. Both homers towards left center field. Here's the 1 and the 2-2 pitch. Here's a swing and a hot shot up the middle, base hit to left center field. Rounding first is Toussaint. He'll head back to the bag, and that'll bring up the center fielder Josh LeBlanc. LeBlanc batting .227. And 2 home runs, 25 RBIs in the 9-hole. Taking the duties in center field here this afternoon. LeBlanc also batted in the 9-hole and played center in last night's ballgame. Had a 1-for-4 with a third-inning single and a run scored. So the Quakes are the leadoff base runner on. And Toussaint as LeBlanc steps in from the left side. Here's the stretch from the letters. Pitch on the way, and there's a bunt right in front of the mound. Coming off the mound is Braden. Has time to go to second. Gets the lead base runner on the force play. Not enough time to turn 2, but exactly what he had hoped to do. Here's go the 1-6 to get the force play at the bag at second. Josh LeBlanc will be safe at first on the fielder's choice. And with one out, it'll bring up the DH, Nate Sutton. Sutton 1 for 1, a single and a run scored as part of a 4-run first inning for Rancho. So 1 on, 1 down as Braden steps in. Will face another southpaw. And Sutton bats from the left side. Here's the stretch coming set at the letters. The pitch. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first. And back in there safely is LeBlanc. And Sutton in yesterday's ball game led things off. And we had a pretty good game at 3 for 5. 2 singles, a 3-run home run, and 4 RBIs. There's another pickoff throw back to the bag at first. And again, Toussaint back in there. Or I should say now Josh LeBlanc back in there safely. 1 on, 1 down. Sutton still waiting his first pitch of the at-bat. Bottom half of the second. Still tied up at 4-piece between the Ports and the Quakes. Here's the stretch from the letters. The pitch. And the breaking ball misses low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. We're 1/4 till 2 here on the West Coast on Daycare Day here at the ballpark. Here's the stretch. Again, set up the letters. A long look at first, the 1-0. And that fastball misses low as the count 2 balls and no strikes now to Nate Sutton. So we'll see if the left-hander decides to come back with the fastball or not. Sutton has done a good job so far mixing of speeds. That one came in at 86, but he's been in the 90s and down in the 70s with a breaking ball. Here's the 2-0 and a breaking ball with a called strike. Hitting inside corner. And the count 2-1. LeBlanc leads off the bag at first. And Singleton setting up outside. Another pickoff throw. Almost got him leaning towards the bag at second, but just gets back in time with a head-first effort. So, still 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Sutton with 1 on, 1 down. Talked about Braden being on a pitch count of about 60. Well, he's just about halfway there right now. Here's the 2-1. Another pickoff throw. And again, back in there safely. Here's LeBlanc. So Braden very much aware of what's going on over there at first base. And you're thinking stolen base for Josh LeBlanc. Well, he does have 8 stolen bases. And he has done so in 13 opportunities. So he's been caught 5 times. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball misses inside. And the count 3 balls and a strike now. Three and 1 the count. Certainly a hitter's count, but we'll see if Braden can paint the corners here. Setting up outside is the catcher Singleton. 3-1 pitch. And the fastball misses low and away, so the walk has been issued. And that'll put runners at first and second. Still just 1 down. Brings up the third baseman, Freddy Sandoval. Sandoval 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored in the first. And it looks like nobody throwing in the Stockton Ports bullpen as of yet. Some stretching going on right now. And here is the stretch as Braden comes set. A peek over at second and the pitch on the way. There's a swing and a pop-up foul first base side. Will head over the seats into the concourse area. And out of play. And the count is 0-1 to Freddy Sandoval. And it's all knotted up at 4-piece here in the last half of the second. Well, Jelena did a nice job settling in inning number 2 for Rancho. Hope Braden can do the same. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing with a called strike in the outside corner. The count is 0-2 now to Sandoval. A picture-perfect time for a ground ball right here. Infielders are playing at double play depth. Outfielders playing shallow. Braden looks in, comes set. Setting up with the outside corner is Singleton from the letters. Here's the 0-2 pitch from the left-hander. Breaking breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. Misses. That's the count 1-2 now to Sandoval. The block gets his lead off the bag at second. Nate Sutton, a conservative lead off the bag at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, poked foul. First base side, and again out of play. Still 1-2, the count to Sandoval. So Braden looks in. Again, Singleton setting up well on the outside corner. From the letters, here's the 1-2 pitch. And a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Sandoval will be out number 2 and strikeout number 2 for Braden. And it brings up the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez, who's 1 for 1. Really set the tone in the bottom half of the first with his 20th home run of the season, a 3-run shot. Singleton comes out real quickly to talk strategy with Braden. And again, take a look at what he has done as Sean Rodriguez against the Stockton Ports this season. Coming into this ball game, Rodriguez batting at a clip of .538. Now 3 home runs and 7 RBIs against the Stockton Ports. He has done so in now 4 games. That's amazing. Roughly a home run per game. That's why he's got 20 home runs on the season, second best in the Cal League. Here's the stretch. From the letters, pitch on the way from Braden. And off speed on the outside corner, misses, and the count 1-0 to Sean Rodriguez. Talk about the players in the Cal League that have hurt the Stockton Ports the most. Obviously, Reed Brignac and Visalia comes to mind as he's batting around 500, but he has played a ton of games against the Ports. There's a double steal and a strike, a throw down to third, and Braden out there to cover the bag in time. Full double steal successful for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. So they have runners at second and third now. Is the count even at 1-1? There's a quick snap throw there from Singleton, the catcher, but Spencer did not get over to the bag in enough time to cover. And now a big RBI situation with runners at second and third, 2 outs, and here's the stretch of the 1-1 from Braden to Rodriguez. And a swing and a miss. Good breaking ball to the outside corner, and the count 1-2 now on the Quake shortstop. Rodriguez takes time, takes his batting helmet off. Now steps right back into the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 outs. Bottom half of the second, tied up at 4 apiece, and we'll see if Braden can keep it that way. Singleton steps up inside. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, misses low. Tried the curve, but broke right off the table. That's exactly where Rodriguez leaves it. The Calumet at 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Sean Rodriguez. So a lot of pitches in now the first 2 innings. Then we talked about the pitch count. Probably will not get past 60 for Braden. Hopefully he'll get a chance to start the third if he can get out of the second here. 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and a high drive. Fairly deep to left field. It's a 1-hopper off the wall over the head of Luis Perez. And 2 are going to come in to score. Josh LeBlanc and Nate Sutton. A 2 RBI, 2 out stand-up double for Sean Rodriguez. And now it's a 6-4 Quakes lead here in the bottom half of the second. Braden was 1 strike away or 1 out away from getting out of the second inning unscathed, but well, it looked as if Rancho had other ideas. So 6-4 is now your scores. Collins will step in. He's 0 for 1, struck out swinging back in the first inning. And still an RBI opportunity for Collins with Rodriguez inching off the bag at second. Braden looks in, comes set. From the letters, here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, fought off foul. First base side and out of play. And the count 0-1. Fastball from Braden is topped out at about 89 here today. Does have a good fastball that'll get up to the mid-90s when he is back to full strength. Again, the numbers do not lie. Put up some sensational numbers last season in both Stockton and Midland. Here's the stretch of the 0-1 pitch, and the fastball misses inside, and the count even her ball and a strike apiece. He was 15-5 with a 3.52 ERA combined in 23 starts for Stockton and Midland. His 15 wins led all Mays minor league pitchers. That is why he was the Oakland A's minor league pitcher of the year back in 2005. Here is the stretch, 1-1. And the fastball swung on a jam job, a slow roll at third base side. Stenner's going to have to hurry, a barehanded throw. And just got him by a frog hair at first, and that'll end the second inning for Rancho. But they take the first lead of Game 2 as they score 2 runs. And, well, they do so on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're through 2 as we head to 3 here at the Epicenter. It's 6-4. Rancho on top of the Stockton Forts. Back in a few moments for the third inning on 1420 KSTN.
Lucas Business Systems has been delivering results to businesses in California's Central Valley since 1904. Lucas Business Systems personalizes solutions to meet the individual needs of their customers, from the small office to the large multi-user organizations, using the Konica Minolta BizHub product line of multifunctional copiers and printers. They provide your office with advanced document imaging and management solutions. Lucas Business Systems is proud to be the official technology provider of the Stockton Forts and wishes the team the best in Banner Island Ballpark with their affiliate, the Ultimate A's.
You're listening to Stockton Forts Baseball on AM 1420 KSTN Stockton.
Nothing says class and sophistication quite like the rich, elegant look of cultured marble and natural granite. At Angels Marble, they're making it easy and affordable to add that same touch of class to your home or office. With 20 years of experience, you can trust them to add uniqueness and beauty to your next project. Let Angels Marble help create your unique personal style. Give them a call today. You'll find them in your yellow pages. Angels Marble. Elegance made affordable.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Force. Only on 1420 KSTN.
Well, the YMCA will take us into the third inning here in Rancho. It's a 6-4 ball game. Quakes on top of the Stockton Forts. Rancho with a 4-run first and a 2-run second. Again, Stockton, that big 4-run first inning looked like a good sign, but Rancho has answered the call and then some now, up 6-4. So we'll see what Stockton does here in the third. They did threaten momentarily in the second. They let the base runner run. They had 2 on with 2 outs before the interesting play where it was Eddie Cornejo caught in a pickle between third and home, who was eventually tagged out to end the frame. So here in the third, there'll be meat of the order. 3, 4, 5, Myron Leslie, John McCurdy, and Brian Snyder. And there's Leslie to lead things off as 1-for-1. He's single with a run scored and an RBI back in the first. There's the wind and the first pitch on the way. There's a swing and a high drive. Straightaway center field, backtracking and over the head of Josh LeBlanc. A one-hopper off the wall, rounding first, heading into second base. Will be Myron Leslie, so he is 2 for 2. Single now, a double, and a leadoff base runner in scoring position to start the third for Stockton. And that'll bring up the DH, John McCurdy. Here's McCurdy is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the first. Quakes, 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Forts. Now 4 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. So the Forts have out-hit the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, but the Quakes already 2 home runs in the ballgame. Here's the first pitch to McCurdy, fouled back to the screen, and the count 0-1. Sean Rodriguez, a 3-run homer in the first, and a solo blast for Cody Fuller in the first as well, and that's why the Quakes have a 2-run lead. McCurdy, who struck out in his first at bat, see if he can take advantage of this RBI opportunity. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch. That one misses inside as the count even at 1-1. Batting at 300 on the nose coming into this ball game. 10 home runs and 33 RBIs. He had homered in 3 of his last 4 ball games coming into the game yesterday. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss off speed on the inside corner. A change up at 86, and the count 1-2 now to McCurdy. Leslie inching off the bag at second. Really sizable lead. Here's the stretch. Set above the letters is Jelene. The 1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. But with the breaking ball, the outside corner as John McCurdy goes fishing after it and comes up with an empty hook. It'll be out number 1 and strikeout number 2 for Carl Jelena, and both strikeouts have been due to John McCurdy. It brings up third baseman Brian Snyder. And Snyder back in the first had the 2 RBI double with a run scored. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. He quickly calls time. And steps right back into the batter's box. Jelena in the stretch. Looks in to get the signs. Collins setting up the outside corner. Here's the pitch on the way, and the breaking ball misses low and outside. And as the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Brian Snyder. Jelena again looks in. Really labored through the first inning and settled in nicely in inning number 2. Here's the 1-0. And that one misses outside of the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Freddy steps out, gets the signs from manager Todd Steverson. Again, there'd be no need to bunt Leslie down to third with 1 out. That would bring 2 outs and would relinquish the sacrifice opportunity. So Snyder will be swinging away. Here's the 2-0 and a called strike in the outside corner. Now 2-1. Leslie not blinding speed, but some decent speed for a man his size, and I'm sure a ball in the gap or hard single down the right field line would be enough to bring him home. Here's the 2-1. There's a swing and a bouncer up the middle. Bounces off the mound, then off the glove of Rodriguez in a center field. Stopping at third will be Leslie. Again, as Rodriguez couldn't come up with it. Well, Blanc was playing fairly shallow in center, so he was able to get it right back in a hurry. But a single for Snyder as that'll put runners at first and third with 1 down. And brings up the first baseman, Haas Pratt, who was 0 for 1. Get a chopper right in front of the plate in his first at bat. It was a bullet right off the bat as Snyder bounced off the mound and skidded up the middle, and Rodriguez, again, a diving effort, had to touch a bit of his glove, but could not hang on as it trickled into center field. So, runners at the corners, 1 down. Force trailing 6-4 here in the top half of the third, but a chance to climb right back into it right here. And as Pratt steps in. Well, Jelena in the stretch. Snyder, a fairly conservative lead off the bag at first. Here's the stretch and the pitch. That one misses inside. And the count 1 ball and no strikes to Haas Pratt. And taking the duties at first base to give Tommy Everidge the rare day off. Told Everidge will be available, however, off the bench in late pitch inning role if possible. Here's the 1-0. There's a swing and a hard hit ball to right center field. Backtracking is LeBlanc. He can't get to it. It hops off the wall. Coming in to score is Leslie. Snyder will get the stop sign at third, but a stand-up RBI double for Haas Pratt. And the Stockton Forts are back to within 1 now at a score of 6-5. So Haas Pratt taking advantage of the rare start here today. Put that ball right on the money towards right center field, just about a foot shy of what would have been a home run. So he will take the RBI double. And now 6-5, your score porch with still 2 in scoring position. With Snyder at third, Pratt at second brings up Luis Perez. And Perez 1 for 1. The RBI single in the first was later caught stealing to end the frame. So Perez will step in as Jelena back in the stretch. The right-hander looks in, gets the signs from Collins. And Collins setting up on the outside corner. Here's the pitch, and a breaking ball misses. Gets past the catcher, bounces off the wall. They flip home, not in enough time, and coming in to score will be Brian Snyder. And we are now tied up at 6 apiece here in the top half of the third. Pratt also moves down to third base, so he is 90 feet away. And the count 1-0. And a breaking ball in the inside corner. Just got past Michael Collins. He had the glove on it and then caromed off his glove and then off the wall behind the back screen and bounced back to him, but not in enough time. So 90 feet away now is Haas Pratt as the count 1-0 to Perez. Now time is called. And Bennett, once again, the pitching coach will be out there to have a chat with Jelena. That may be some stalling for the bullpen to get up and ready to go. This may be one of those ball games, ladies and gentlemen. And 4 runs for both sides in the first inning. Quakes with 2 runs in the bottom half of the second, and the Forts now with 2 and counting here in the top half of the third. Both sides landing big punches here early on. And again, there was still just 1 out here in the inning. And the umpire comes out to break up the conference on the mound. And the umpires in tonight's ball game behind the plate is Bradley Lawhead. The man on the bases is Matt Hensel. So 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Perez. Base runner at third, of course, is Haas Pratt. All the Rancho infielders creeping on top of the grass do not want to concede the go-ahead run. Here's the 1-0. And a swing and a miss, off speed on the inside corner. Looks like a changeup at 80 miles an hour. And the count even at 1-1 now to Luis Perez. And here's the stretch from Jelena, the 1-1. That one misses low and outside. 2 balls and a strike to count to Perez. And here is the stretch. Jelena looks in, the 2-1 pitch. Here's a swing and a fly ball to right field. We'll see this is deep enough to score the run. The catch is made by Fuller. Pratt's coming home full speed ahead. Here comes the throw. It's down the line, but a bit offline. And Pratt comes in to score. And the Stockton Forts have now taken a 7-6 lead here in the top half of the third. Throw was in time for Fuller, but offline, and Collins tried to apply the tag as Pratt came chugging down the third base side, but he is safe, and the Stockton Forts now back on top, and it brings up shortstop Gregorio Petit. So credit Luis Perez with a sac fly. And the RBI as well as Petit steps in. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. Back in the second, there's a bunt attempt on the third base side. It is a fair ball. They waited to see if it would roll foul, but it stayed fair. And Petit aboard with an infield bunt single here with 2 outs as it brings up the catcher, Matt Singleton. Counts is starting to fall in favor of the Forts here in the top half of the third. Already turning into a wacky ball game, and again, we are just a third of the way through it. And Singleton will step in again, 0 for 1. He grounded out to the shortstop, Rodriguez as well. Hit it sharply up the middle, and Rodriguez showing a whole bunch of range as he fielded it cleanly behind the bag at second, and still had time to make the throw on the run. And Petit, fairly big lead off the bag at first. Here's the stretch. And Jelena and the pitch on the way. There's the breaking ball. This is outside of the count as 1 ball and no strikes to Matt Singleton. Jelena once again looks in, comes set. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first. And that's Petit back in there safely. Stockton now at 7 runs and 11 hits. Quakes with 6 runs and 6 hits. Here's another pickoff throw. And gets past the first baseman Johnson, but bounces right back to him. So no advancement on the play from Petit. And the count still 1 ball and no strikes to Singleton. And we've just crossed the 2 o'clock hour now here on the West Coast on 1420 AM KSTN Stockton. And here's the stretch. Jelena set above the letters, the 1-0. And it's a called strike. Here's a stolen base attempt to throw to the shortstop Rodriguez, and he lost the grip on the throw there from Collins. So sliding safely into second will be Petit. Another stolen base for him, and he's now in scoring position as the count even at 1-1. For Gregorio Petit, that is his 18th stolen base of the season in 28 attempts. He is 2 behind Cameron Conklin, who has the team lead with 20 stolen bases. Jelena looks in. Coming set, the 1-1. And the fastball in the outside corner called strike, and the count 1-2 now to Singleton. Here is the stretch setting up inside. Now is Collins, the 1-2 pitch. There's a swing and a line drive to left, but right at Drew Toussaint, who's there to make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the third. But the Stockton Ports do jump back on top and then some. And they score 3 runs. They do so on 4 hits, no errors, and a man left. We head to the last half of the third. I think it's going to be one of those games, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Stockton Ports on top, 7-6. Then we're back in a few moments for the last half of the third here on 1420 KSTN.
Did you wake up to Man-Cow this morning?
Today's your birthday.
David Hasselhoff, 54. David Hasselhoff, the recording superstar. Here is his song. Jump in my car. Pamela Anderson and Kid Rock are getting married. Tommy Lee says he's tired of signing his sex video. Peter Cook, the insatiable real estate guy, is losing his wife, Christy Brinkley, and the 19-year-old girl he was nailing is taking him to court. 30% of people who have gastric bypass surgery go on to get other addictions like alcohol, drugs, gambling, or shopping. 13% of people won't go on vacation if they have a pet. Trailer parks, they're celebrating that they're number 1 today. Meth is still the number 1 drug in America.
Tune in tomorrow morning for another edition of Man-Cow's Morning Madhouse on KSTN 1420 AM.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
We are through 2.5 as we head to the last half of the third. It's a 7-6 score. The Stockton Ports back on top of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes here at the epicenter in Game 2 of this 3-game series. And daycare day. A lot of kids in attendance, and they're watching a wild one so far. Already 13 runs on 17 total hits by both sides. Well, Braden with a 1-run lead. We'll see what he does here in the third. Again, he's got a fairly short pitch count to work with, and they've given him a lead now. And here in the third inning, it'll be 5, 6, 7. Ben Johnson, Cody Fuller, and Ryan Leahy to face the left-hander. So Johnson steps in 0 for 1. He flew out to the center fielder, Nick Blasey, back in the first. Dallas Braden looks in, and the left-hander winds and delivers. First pitch fastball, swung on, driven deep to left center field, back to the warning track to the wall. It's a one-hopper off the wall. Rounding first, heading towards second is Johnson. The throw comes in a bit late, and he has himself a stand-up double to start the bottom half of the third, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Cody Fuller. And Fuller 1 for 1, a solo home run in the first. That was the 7th hit of the ball game for the Quakes. And the tying run is now in scoring position. And you get the feeling in this ball game here today, the winner is going to be the one whose pistol is smoking last. Here's the stretch. From the letters, the pitch. There's a bunt foul behind the plate. And that's the count 0-1 to Cody Fuller. You're joining us late. Both teams scored 4 runs in the first inning. Then the Quakes answered back with 2 in the second to take a 6-4 lead in the Ports with a 3 spot. In the top half of the third to go up 7-6, and that's where we stand right now with 1 on and no outs. Braden in the stretch. Singleton setting up inside. From the letters, the 0-1. Showing bunt. Fouls the third base side and out of play on the count 0-2 now. To Fuller. Now with 2 strikes, it'll be interesting to see if they do try to lay the bunt down. And get Johnson down to third base, 90 feet away. Boy, Fuller's been swinging the stick lately. It's be tough to take the bat out of his hands after, of course, the solo home run back in the first inning. But he's behind on the count 0-2, and Braden in the stretch gets the signs from Matt Singleton. And gets the signs he wants. Here's the stretch from the letter. A long look at second. Stepping off the rubber now is Braden. Johnson back to the bag. Gregorio Petit sneaking back in there, playing a little cat and mouse with the quick base runner. Here's the stretch. Singleton now setting up outside. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. And that'll be out number 1 here in the third. As it brings up the second baseman, Ryan Leahy. Leahy's 0 for 1. He flew out to center fielder Nick Blasey back in the first. So Braden looks in. And there's some activity up and going in the bullpen now for Stockton. Here's the first pitch on the way and a breaking ball. The called strike on the inside corner. The count is 0-1 to Ryan Leahy. There's a left-hander getting loose. I believe that is Brad Davis, who is loosening in the pen right now. So no ball to the strike. And 1 on, 1 down, last half of the third. We're up 7-6. Leahy steps in for the right side after a quick time was called. Infielders are playing back, outfielders straight away. Here's the stretch from the letters, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, fights inside and gets a piece of Ryan Leahy on a hit by pitch. He'll take his free pass down to the bag at first. And that'll put runners at first and second here. And it brings up the left fielder, Drew Toussaint. Toussaint is 1 for 1, a single back in the second. So it happened a couple times yesterday. 2 hit by pitches, or 3 total in the ball game. With 2 Rancho Quakes that were hit by a pitch and 1 Stockton Port in yesterday's win for the Ports. That pitch misses outside to Toussaint, and the count is quickly 1 ball and no strikes to the Rancho left fielder. As Braden looks in, and Singleton setting up. Here's the 1-0. There's a swing at a high fly ball. Shallow right center, backtracking is Eddie Cornejo, and shading in is Myron Leslie to make the catch, and he'll put that away for out number 2. Both base runners will have to stay put at first and second, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Josh LeBlanc. And LeBlanc safe on the fielder's choice and scored a run as part of the 2-run second for Rancho. LeBlanc will step in from the left side. So 2 on, 2 out. We'll see if Braden can end strong here. Gets this final out. I'm sure we will probably see Brad Davis or another Stockton Ports reliever in the fourth. Braden coming set. A peek over at second. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Misses up and away, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Josh LeBlanc. And again, coming set right at the letters. Here's the 1-0 breaking ball and a called strike. On the outside corner is the count even at 1-1. Leahy getting his lead off of first, Ben Johnson. His lead off second. There's a check swing, bouncing ball foul third base side. And out of play. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Josh LeBlanc. And again, Braden a strike away of getting out of this third inning unscathed. He looks in to get the signs. We'll see where Singleton sets up. He has been consistently on that outside corner. Now setting up inside the 1-2. And the fastball comes inside on LeBlanc and hits him. Second hit batter of the inning. So put Johnson now down to third, Leahy at second, and Josh LeBlanc at first. Obviously not intentional, as Braden is trying to paint the corners here. And again, his first start back here in the California League in 2006, and he is not the typical sharp Dallas Braden that we've heard a lot about, and just working his way back from the shoulder problems that he had early on in the beginning of the season. Now time is called, and Scott Emerson quickly out there to talk with Braden. And as he does that, I'll take a chance to thank a sponsor that has made this broadcast possible. I want to thank Best Western. For 60 years, you've included Best Western in your family summer vacation. Well, To say thanks to Best Western Hotels of California on offering you a limited edition $50 Best Western travel card and up to 20% off your stays with our baseball fan rate. Experience the best summer ever with the Best Western Hotels of California. For more information, visit bestwesternbaseball.com or call 866-743-8738. That's Best Western, proud sponsors of your 2006 Stockton Ports. And a quick conference from the mound has been broken up. And now bases loaded, 2 outs. In the top half of the order as Nate Sutton steps in. He's 2 for 2. Pair of singles, 2 runs scored. First pitch swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Nate Sutton. Big RBI opportunity for the Quakes. Here's the stretch from the letters. The 0-1 breaking ball and a called strike in the outside corner. The count is 0-2. The outfielders are playing a bit shallow. Do not want to concede the go-ahead run on a possible base hit. Up 7-6. Here's the stretch from the letters. Braden, a long look at second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And the breaking ball misses low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on the Quakes DH, Nate Sutton. All 3 base runners getting leads off the bag. Here's the stretch and the 1-2 pitch. Another breaking ball in the same location, low and away. Sutton thought about offering out the pitch, but held up. And the count even at 2-2 now to Sutton. In full count, 2 outs. Last half of the third. Ports clinging to that 1-run lead at 7-6. Here's the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and a high chopper to the right side. A tough hop for Cornejo, but flips just in time to get the force play at second base, as that will retire LeBlanc and the Quakes here in the third inning. So Braden able to avoid trouble. As they get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases left loaded. As we are through 3, and we head to the top half of the 4th inning here at the Epicenter. It's 7-6 Ports on top of the Quakes as we're back in a few moments for the 4th inning on 1420 KSTN.
In baseball, there always seems to be one exceptional player that can do it all. The same is true when it comes to your computing needs. That's why more people are turning to Computer XP. Computer XP features complete computer networking, internet, computer sales, and service. In fact, Computer XP is known as the one-stop for all your computer needs. Visit Computer XP in Stockton at 2233 Grand Canal Boulevard or find out more online at www.c-xp.com. Computer XP. They deliver computer solutions.
Hey fans, you can hit a home run with Perfect View Shutters. At first base, they'll introduce you to their 100% hardwood plantation style shutters. At second, they'll coach you through the right colors to match or complement your home's decor. You'll round third with their professional installers. And you'll slide across home with beautiful new shutters. The perfect addition to your home. Owned and operated by Tucker Swift, previous Ports player. Call Perfect View Shutters today at 209-464-5615.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Rose Volgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
We are now through 3 as we head to the top half of the 4th inning. It's 7-6. Again, Stockton preserving the 1-run lead as Braden, a nice job pitching out of the jam in the third. I would imagine we've probably seen the last of him today. His first start back, again, fighting the shoulder problems he had early on in the season, and a few starts that he had in the Arizona League. And I guess some mixed results, but good to end on a solid note if you're Dallas Braden. And regardless, good to have him back in the Stockton. So we are through 3, and here in the top half of the 4th inning for Stockton, it'll be 1, 2, 3, Cornejo, Blasey, and Leslie. And then we'll be facing a new pitcher on the mound. It'll be the southpaw Micah Posey. We'll get the stats on Posey in just a moment. That's the first pitch. Misses in the count 1-0 to Cornejo, who's already 2 for 2. A single, a double, and a run scored. Posey, 6'4", 225-pound left-hander. That pitch misses now 2-0. And the Tallahassee, Florida, 15th round selection back in 2001. Pitched here in Rancho last year. Was 0-2 with an ERA even at 12. There's the 2-0. The called strike at the inside corner. The count 2-1. The stats this season on Posey: 3-9 and a 5.07 ERA. Now his 22nd appearance. Does have 16 starts. The rest in relief. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one misses up and away. And the count 3 balls and a strike to Eddie Cornejo. In 44 and a third innings, Posey has given up a total. Here's this 3-1 pitch. A called strike and the count 3-2. I stand corrected, in 94 full innings, Posey has given up a total of 53 earned runs on 111 hits. He has struck out 49, walked 48, and batters batting .299 against him. So not the most impressive strikeout to walk ratio, because he has struck out 49 and walked 48. Here's the 3-2 payoff. That one swung on, foul, third base side and out of play. And Cornejo still alive with a full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Then we are just underway to the top half of the 4th inning. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Ports winners 8-4 last night. And they are up 7-6 here in Game 2. The 3-2 pitch, swinging a worm burner to the shortstop. Sean Rodriguez up with the grounder. He'll fire over to the bag at first as Cornejo is retired. 1 down, brings up the center fielder, Nick Lazy. Lazy 2 for 2, a pair of singles and a run scored back in the 1st inning. In line score of the game, if you're just joining us, for the Ports, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. For the Quakes, 6 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. And here is the wind from Posey in the pitch. A bunt attempt there, but a bunts right through it. Just Lazy for a strike, and the count 0-1. 2 for 2. And done a nice job at the top half of the order in the leadoff spot, and now in the 2-hole with the emergence of Eddie Cornejo. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a swing and a line drive, base hit to left field, and Blasey is 3 for 3. Third single of the ball game. A 1-out base runner for Stockton. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Myron Leslie. And how about the game for Leslie so far? He is also 2 for 2 with a single, a double, 2 runs scored, and an RBI, and we're only in the 4th inning. So he will step in from the right side. And the switch hitter now facing the southpaw, Micah Posey, after facing Jelena, who is right-handed for the first 2 at-bats of the ballgame for him. Here's the stretch and the pitch. There's a swing and a high chopper, third base side, just wide of the bag. And out of play as the count is 0-1 to Myron Leslie. Single for Blasey again, a 12th hit of the ball game for Stockton. And now he clips their hit total by 2 of yesterday's 10 hits. Here's the stretch. Posey set up the letters and look at first. Now the 0-1 pitch. There's a swing and a broken bat bouncer to the shortstop off the glove of Rodriguez as it trickles into left field. And stopping at second base is Blasey. And they'll give that a single to Leslie. Puts runners at first and second as it brings up the DH, John McCurdy. McCurdy 0 for 2, has struck out twice, once in the first and once in the third. So now 13 hits here in the ballgame for Stockton. 2 on, 1 down as it brings up McCurdy, who steps in. Posey in the stretch, looks in to get the signs from Collins. Set at the letters. Here's the pitch on the way. And the fastball swung on, hit well down the left field line, but hooking plenty foul and out of play. The count is 0-1 to John McCurdy. McCurdy is just one of 2 Stockton Ports who has not reached base safely today. The other being Singleton, who's 0 for 2 in the 9-hole. Here's the stretch from the letters, the 0-1 pitch. Fastball inside, a little bit too close for comfort as McCurdy twists out of the way, and the count even at 1-1. And Blasey's Port at second base. Leslie leading off the bag at first. Here's the stretch and the 1-1 pitch to John McCurdy. There's a swing and a flare to left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Cut off by LeBlanc before he gets into the gap, rounding third, and coming in to score is Blasey. Leslie will hold up at second base, but an RBI single for John McCurdy. And now the Forts have taken an 8-6 lead here in the top of the fourth. Got to give credit to LeBlanc for cutting that off in center because that was headed for the gap in a hurry. That would have easily gotten Leslie down to third, if not scored him, had it gotten to the gap. With the RBI single for McCurdy, puts runners at first and second, still one down. Forts up 8-6. And it'll bring up Ryan Snyder in the 5-hole. Snyder 2 for 2. A double, a single, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. He's had himself quite a ball game so far as well. Posey in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside. This is for a ball in the count, 1-0. Again, for Posey, you talk about the high walk total, 48 total walks, and that is second on the team in the highest walk total other than Joseph Torres. Here's the 1-0. That one misses off the plate on the outside corner, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Now to Brian Snyder. And Leslie at second base. John McCurdy at first as Snyder calls time, steps out of the box, quickly talking with the home plate umpires. There's a conference on the mound with the catcher, Michael Collins, and Micah Posey trying to settle him down a little bit. Now goes back behind the plate. Here is the stretch from the letters to 2-0. That one misses high and outside of the count. 3 balls and no strikes. Now to Snyder. We are already an hour and 30 minutes into this ball game, and not even halfway through it. Here's the stretch from the letters. The 3-0 pitch. That one misses outside, so the walk has been issued to Snyder. And that's going to load him up. Leslie down to third. McCurdy up to second. Snyder over at the bag at first after the base on balls. And that'll load him up with 1 down. And he brings up Haas Pratt. Pratt had the big RBI double with a run scored back in the third is 1 for 2. And that will also earn another trip out to the mound for the pitching coach for Rancho Cucamonga. Of course, that is Eric Bennett, who's worn out a path from the dugout to the mound here so far today. As Jelena once again gone after just 3 innings, and now Posey, who really was the scheduled starter in this game before the series started, moving back into the bullpen and really having a tough time locating right now. And after getting the first out of the inning on a ground out from Eddie Cornejo, Stockton Forts have banged out 3 singles and a walk with a run scored. So, bases loaded, 1 down. Haas Pratt steps in again, 1 for 2, with a big RBI double and a run scored in the third. Here's the stretch of the pitch. And a breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Pratt. Stockton 8 runs on 14 hits. They have doubled Rancho in the hit department at 14-7 with a 2-run lead at 8-6 as that pitch misses outside. 2-0 the count. And Posey does not look comfortable on the mound at all. Out there in the hot afternoon sun, thought he was going to get the start, then delegated to the pen. There's a swing and a bouncer to the right side, taking on 2 hops. And there's a flip over to second, back to first. And it is a double play to end the inning. A 4-6-3, buy one, get one free. Leahy really had to hurry to flip over to Rodriguez at second, and they turn it just in time, so the double play will end things in the 4th inning. So it could have been worse for Rancho, but Stockton does score another run. They score 1 run. They do so on 3 hits, no errors, and after the double play, 2 left on base. We now head to the last half of the 4th inning. It's 8-6 Forts on top of the Quakes. We're back in a few moments for the last half of the 4th inning on 1420 KSTN.
Look inside your Penny Saver. It's in your mailbox every week. Check out the latest and greatest values. They offer coupons for that favorite restaurant you've been craving. You might even dine out on the Penny Saver with their amazing free pay. You gotta move? Grab your Penny Saver. Northern California's best source for savings, coupons, and no questions asked. Free items are just around the corner. The Penny Saver gives you the ability to shop with ease. Their pages are filled with local ads, discount coupons, and don't forget the famous free page, where new items are really free each week. With the Penny Saver, you can sell anything. Your computer, air conditioner, stereo, or microwave oven. If you want tickets to an amusement park or you're ready to buy a car, even if you're searching for a washing machine, for great prices, Grab a penny saver. You'll have the source for essential goods and services not offered anywhere else right at your fingertips. Grab a penny saver today.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Through 3.5 as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Stockton on top by a score of 8-6. Ports with 8 runs, 14 hits, no errors. And the Quakes 6 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. New pitcher on the mound for the Stockton Ports here in the last half of the fourth inning, and as expected, it is the left-hander Brad Davis who is on the hill. Stats for Davis coming into the ballgame: 2-1, a 5.40 ERA, now in his 20th appearance of the season. In 40 full innings, Davis has given up 24 earned runs on 56 hits, striking out 36, walking 16, and batters are batting .331 against them. The game comes in with a 2-run lead. He'll face 2-3-4 portion of the Rancho order here in the fourth. It'll be Freddy, Sandoval, Sean Rodriguez, and Michael Collins. Sandoval steps in 1 for 2, a single with a run scored in the first, struck out swinging in the second. So Braden is done after 3 full innings, and he does leave with a lead. That one misses outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. So he cannot lose it or win it. He will receive the no decision in his first outing back on the mound. And here's the wind from Davis in the 1-0 pitch. And a called strike in the outside corner as the count even at 1-1. Davis looks in, winds, and delivers the 1-1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss, and the count 1-2 now to Sandoval. Well, if you did not know, Brad Davis is doing some great things in the community for Stockton as well. Been working with the Boys and Girls Club of San Joaquin. Here's the wind of the 1-2 pitch. There's a swing and a flare right to the shortstop. Gregorio Petit there to make the catch, and that'll be out number 1 in the fourth as it brings up the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez, who's had a big ball game, 2 for 2, a 3-run home run, a double, and 4 RBIs. But again, if you come out to Stockton's beautiful Banner Island Ballpark for the upcoming homestands, Brad Davis is going to be auctioning off autographed memorabilia, equipment, a whole lot of good stuff. With all the proceeds going to the Boys and Girls Club, he'll be presenting the check to the Boys and Girls Club on August 4th, Friday night at beautiful Banner Island Ballpark. And then a lucky essay winner will have a chance to have catch on the field with Davis before the game. And a lot of other extras as well as the breaking ball, the called strike in the inside corner. And the count is 0-1 to Sean Rodriguez. To tip your cap to Brad Davis, again doing some great things with the Ports and the community as well. The Boys and Girls Club of San Joaquin County. That one fouled back behind the plate. And the count is 0-2 to Rodriguez. Time is called, and Singleton out there quickly talking with Davis. That'll give me a chance to thank another sponsor that, of course, has made this broadcast possible. I want to thank John's Incredible Pizza for their incredible sponsorship of Stockton Ports action this season. With flat screen TVs, a full arcade, and a huge all-you-can-eat pizza buffet, make sure you head to John's Incredible Pizza on Pershing Avenue and find out for yourself. Oh, and don't forget to try their famous peanut butter pizza. That's John's Incredible Pizza, proud sponsors of the 2006 Stockton Ports. So the conference on the mound has been broken up, and the count still 0-2 to Rodriguez. As Davis looks in, shakes off the signs from Singleton. Now gets one to like. The 0-2 pitch misses outside, and the count 1-2 now to Rodriguez. Again, he's batting at a clip of .538 against Ports pitching this season. Here's the 1-2 and a breaking ball. Misses low and outside. A good block there for Singleton. We'll see where Davis decides to pitch him right here. Davis gets the sign he wants in the wind. Here's the pitch. Deep breaking ball misses in the dirt, and the count even at 2-2. On deck is Michael Collins. Well, he's been the only Rancho Cucamonga Quake to has not reached base so far today. Talk about him when he steps walks into the batter's box, but he's 0 for 2, and everyone else has reached base safely. And again, it's amazing to say that, and we are just in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a sharply hit ball, third base side. Snyder up with it, plenty of time, makes the throw. Right on the money as Rodriguez retired for the first time today. 2 up, 2 down here in the fourth, and that brings up the aforementioned Collins, who, as I said just moments ago, has not reached base safely today. Is 0 for 2, has struck out swinging in the first and grounded out in the second. And again, he is the lone Quake to not reach base here so far today. Davis can put him away to complete a 1-2-3 inning. Be a nice change of pace here in the ballgame as both sides have had long frames so far here today. As the left-hander looks in the wind. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes to count 2. Michael Collins. Again, the Ports on top, 8-6 here in Game 2 after winning 8-4 yesterday. Offense has shown up 2 days in a row and done a nice job. Here's the wind from Davis in the 1-0. Here's a swing and a hot shot right up the middle. Snagged nicely by Davis. Plenty of time to flip over to Pratt at first and does safely. And that will retire the side. A 1-2-3-0 doing for the Quakes in the last half of the fourth inning. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. As we head to the fifth, it's 8-6. Ports clinging to that 2-run lead. As we're back in a few moments for the fifth inning at 14:20 KSTN.
Computer problems can leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere. The next time you're faced with a computer emergency, don't sweat it. Just call Home Geeks. We feature repairs, troubleshooting, internet expertise, network setup and hardware upgrades, and supplies at about half the price of others. We also help with viruses, trojans, and internet connectivity issues. So don't panic. For all your in-home computer needs, technical support, and advice, just call Home Geeks at 607-1233. Find us in your yellow pages. Home Geeks. We make house calls.
Your house is one of the largest investments you'll ever make. So when you need roofing services, trust your home to the professionals at California Classic Roofing. They have 16 years of experience in all types of roofing for residential, commercial, and industrial applications. From re-roofing and repairs to spot maintenance, you can count on them for a job done right every time. California Classic Roofing, the leader in quality. Find them in your yellow pages or call 209-463-6874. That's 209-463-6874.
You are listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are back. We are through 4 as we head to the top half of the fifth inning. Stockton on top by a score of 8-6. Here in the top half of the fifth for the Stockton Ports, it'll be bottom half of the order. Start things off. It'll be Luis Perez, Gregorio, Petit, and Matt Singleton. They will be facing Mike Posey on the mound for another inning of work here in the fifth. Line score of the ball game, it's been a shootout so far for the Ports. 8 runs, 14 hits, and no errors. For the Quakes, 6 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. As Perez steps in, he had an RBI single back in the first and a sac fly with an RBI. In the third, he is 1 for 1. Here's the wind and the first pitch from Posey. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Luis Perez. Here's the wind of the 1-0. Swinging a high bouncer to the shortstop, taking on the short hop there from Rodriguez. And he will flip over to first as Perez retired. 1 down after 2 pitches, and that'll bring up the shortstop. Gregorio Petit, who is 1 for 2, has grounded out and singled in his last at-bat, stole a base as well in the third. Petit now on the season. 18 stolen bases. We mentioned that's 2 shy of the team lead, which is held by Cameron Coughlin, who has 20. Posey looks in, gets the signs from Collins, who sets up inside. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball and a called strike at the outside corners. The count is 0-1 to Gregorio Petit. Here's the 0-1. That one misses up and in. Has the count 2-1 now to the Stockton Ports shortstop. Here's the wind of the 1-1 pitch. misses outside. 2 balls and a strike to count to Petit. Hit bases clear, 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Port's up 8-6. Here's the 2-1. There's a swing at a high fly ball straight away center field. Josh LeBlanc looks like he's got a beat on it. Shades a little bit towards right center to make the catch and puts it away for out number 2. As it'll bring up the catcher, Matt Singleton, who has grounded out and flown out in 2 at-bats. Singleton steps in from the right side. We talked about Singleton and McCurdy being the only 2 that haven't reached base safely. Well, McCurdy singled with an RBI in the 4th. So that now leaves Singleton as the lone Stockton forward who has not reached base so far this afternoon as the first pitch misses, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Singleton. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Here's a swing and a bouncer to the shortstop, taken on 2 hops by Rodriguez. And makes the throw just in time to retire Singleton and retire the side in order for the first time here tonight. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. We're through 4.5 as we head to the last half of the 5th. It's 8-6. Port's on top of the Quakes, and we're back in a few moments for the last of the 5th inning on 1420 KSDN.
At Alsop Chiropractic Center, people's lives are changing for the better, and all it took was 1 phone call or walk-in. They use safe, modern methods to keep hundreds of patients pain-free. Whether you have been in an auto accident, injured for any reason, or suffer from chronic pain, the qualified chiropractic physicians at Alsop Chiropractic Center will have you pain-free in the shortest amount of time possible. Call Carrie Alsop today at 952-7117. That's 952-7117. Select the payment plan that will most work for you. Most insurance accepted, and they do the paperwork. New patients seen the same day. Call 952-7117 or visit 1625 West March Lane, Suite 101 in Stockton, near Bank of America. Feel better today. Call Alsop Chiropractic Center, the pain-free specialist.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Force. Only on 1420 KSDN.
Through 4.5 as we head to the last half of the 5th here at the epicenter at Rancho, Cucamonga. Port's on top by a score of 8-6. It's been a seesaw battle so far this entire ballgame. Both teams scored 4 runs apiece in the first. And it was the Quakes who added 2 in the second to take a 6-4 lead. Ports would answer the call in the third with 3 runs of their own. And a run in the 4th to take the 2-run lead at 8-6. Dallas Braden did have the start win 3 full, but he will not favor in the decision now as Davis is on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. And here in the 5th, it'll be Johnson, Fuller, and Leahy, 5, 6, 7 portion of the Rancho order to start things off here in the 5th. Well, of course, the popular segment of the broadcast, On This Day. Well, I got your On This Day for what is July 19th. Well, of course, now 2006, but back in 1960, on July 19th, it was Juan Marichal making his Major League debut. In his first appearance, he pitches a 1-hit complete game shutout against Philadelphia. Did not allow a hit till the 7th inning. We all know what happened in the later Hall of Fame career of Juan Marichal. And his Major League debut is a portion of On This Day, July 19th, 1960. And well, here today, the wind of the first pitch. That one swung on, lifted foul. First base side, out of play in the count on 1. I'll say, again, this is an old-fashioned country western shootout, California League style. Already 13 total runs, well, 14 total runs, and 21 total hits from both sides. Here's the wind from Davis in the 0-1 pitch on the way to Johnson. There's a swing and a foul ball, first base side, bouncing just to the right of the right field line and out of play. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes now to Johnson. And he is taking duties at first base. The absence of Baltazar Lopez, who went back to Mexico. And Riley had the duties at first base yesterday. Here's the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung on, slap foul, third base side, wide of the bag and out of play. And the count is 0-2 to Johnson. And this is game 2 of our 6-day road trip. We'll have the finale of this 3-game series tomorrow here from the Epicenter at the normal 7:05 start time. Ryan Webb will be on the mound. Then after that, we'll head to High Desert to take on the Mavericks. See our one and only trip to Victorville. Here's the line of the 0-2 pitch. That one misses high and outside on the count of 1-2 now to Ben Johnson. And here's the line. The 1-2 pitch. Here's a swing and a chopper. Third base side taken on one hop by Snyder's going to have to hurry. And got him by a frog hair at first for out number 1 here in the 5th. Nicely done there for Snyder as that was a softly hit ball third base side. And knew he would really have to hurry to make a good throw and did so. 1 up, 1 down here in the 5th. And that'll bring up the right fielder Cody Fuller, who's 1 for 2 with a solo home run in the first. Struck out swinging in his last at bat in the 3rd. He was the 3rd and final strikeout victim at the hands of Dallas Braden. Here's the line from Davis and the pitch. Fastball misses low and away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes to Cody Fuller. Here is the line from Davis and the 1-0 pitch. And a swing and a miss and a breaking ball inside of the count, even at 1-1. Here is the line and the 1-1 pitch and a breaking ball misses off the plate on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike to count. A very picturesque afternoon of baseball. Tucked in the heart of the San Gabriel Mountains and sunshine, blue skies. The breaking ball misses inside on the count 3-1. There's some clouds in the sky, but sunshine peeking right through them right now. Here's the line from Davis and the 3-1 pitch on the way to Fuller. There's a swing and a line shot right over the head of Oz Pratt into right field, and that'll be a 1-out single for Cody Fuller. As it brings up the second baseman, Ryan Leahy. Leahy is blown out. He's also been hit by a pitch. He's 0 for 1. He does represent the tying run, and again, an interesting game it has been. Port's up 8-6, but now 1-1 down, and a lead off the bag for Cody Fuller as Leahy steps in from the right side. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Big breaking ball. This is inside. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Ryan Leahy. Single for Fuller's now the 8th hit of the ball game, and 22 total hits from both sides. 8 for the Quakes, 14 for the Stockton Ports. Here's the stretch. And a 1-0 pitch. That one misses inside, 2-0 the count. We're just about 10 minutes shy of the 3 o'clock hour now. 1420 AM KSTN Stockton. And Fuller leads off the bag. His right foot just beyond the ending of the cutout. Here's the stretch. And the 2-0 pitch. And a called strike at the inside corner. And the count 2-1. Again, Drew Toussaint away from the wings on deck. 1-on-1 down. Davis doing a good job in here so far throwing strikes. He retired the first 4 in a row before giving up the single to Fuller. Now a pickoff throw back to the bag, and Fuller back in there safely. Two balls and 1 strike. 1-on-1 down. Davis from the letters. A look at first. Now the pickoff throw back to the bag. And again, Fuller gets back in time. You're thinking stolen base for Cody Fuller. Well, he has 9 stolen bases, but he's been caught 6 times in 15 total attempts. Not a tremendous ratio. And here's the stretch of the 2-1. Breaking ball misses inside of the count, running to 3-1 now to Ryan Leahy. Definitely hitter's count. We'll see what Davis decides to do with his battery mate, Matt Singleton. Fuller leads off the bag. Here's the stretch. Long look over at first. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, foul back over the screen and out of play. The count running full now, 3-2. again looks in. We'll see what Singleton comes up with now. Setting up inside. Here's the stretch and the 3-2 payoff pitch. Little hit and run. A swing and a drive out towards right center. Backtracking is Leslie there to make the catch. And retreating back to the bag at first will be Fuller when he gets back in time. So 2 outs now here in the 5th, and that'll bring up the left fielder Drew Toussaint, who was 1 for 2. With a single in the 2nd and flew out in the 3rd. Toussaint in yesterday's ball game had himself a 1 for 4 with a 4th inning single. Batting in the 8-hole. Exactly where he is at here today. And here's the stretch from the letters. The pitch, breaking ball. Lifted upstairs in the outside corner for a ball, and the count is 1-0 to Drew Toussaint. Now the youngsters on hand here for daycare day at the ballpark. Reason for our special 1:05 start time. There's a pickoff throwback to the bag at first as Fuller back in there safely. Of course, the Ports coming off 2 hugely successful education days in the first half of the season. And there's another pickoff throwback to the bag, and again back in there safely is Cody Fuller. And here is the stretch from the letters, the 1-0 pitch. Change up at 74 on the outside corner. That's exactly where Toussaint leaves it. And the count 2-0. And you take a look at the remaining schedule for the Stockton Ports. And they are pretty much through the clear when it comes to afternoon games during the week, as that one swung on in sky down the right field side, reaching towards the seats and out of play. And there's a count of 2 balls and a strike now to Toussaint. Moving before the pitch was Fuller. And he will have to head back to the bag at first. Tough to believe we have already played 50 home games at Dan Rowan Ballpark. Still 20 more to go and a lot of exciting promotions down the stretch. Well, a lot of great new things coming up. The World Series of Karaoke. Country Western Farm Night coming up the 27th. We talked about that yesterday, and should be a lot of fun. A lot of success with it last year. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, flew right past him at the outside corner at 84, and the count even at 2-2. And that's really what Brad Davis does best. Typically, you won't blow a fastball at 84 past somebody, but his changing of speeds always keeps the opposition off balance. And that's really what all our left-handers on the pitching staff for Stockton do quite well, as they all fit in the crafty southpaw mode. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a swing, another foul ball. First base side and out of play. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Toussaint. 1 on, 2 outs. Last half of the 5th inning. Ports up by a score of 8-6. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 outs. Here's the stretch from the letters, the 2-2 pitch. Here's a swing at a chopper to the shortstop, and Petit up with it. He'll make the quick throw down to first, and that will retire the side here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So for Rancho, they get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're through 5. It's official, rain or shine. And it's sunny skies here at the epicenter as we head to the 6th. Ports on top 8-6, and we're back in just a few moments for the 6th inning here on 1420 KSTN.
Let's face it, telecommunications is making the world a smaller place. Nowadays, it's easier than ever to do business by phone or on the internet if you have a reliable telecommunications service. Around here, more business leaders are choosing O'Leary Telephone and Data. They're an authorized Panasonic business telephone system dealer, also featuring VoIP systems, Panasonic web cameras, locally owned and operated since 1984. Find out more by calling 209-530-1750 or log on to O'LearyTel.com, your solution to unnecessary phone system contracts. Are you suffering from an injury? Remember, even minor injuries can lead to chronic pain. Before you take any medication, be sure to see your physician for a complete exam and consultation. A good health reminder from the folks at Pine Street Physical and Occupational Therapy. They feature complete treatment and rehabilitation for work-related, auto accidents, and long-forgotten sports injuries. Most insurance plans are accepted. So have your physician refer you to Pine Street Physical and Occupational Therapy. They'll get you back into the game of life.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Force with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
All right, folks, we are through 5, so it's official as we head to the 6th. It's 8-6 Stockton on top of the Quakes. And you're just about reaching the 3 o'clock hour here on 1420 AM KSTN Stockton. Again, here in the 6th inning, it'll be 1-2-3, Eddie Cornejo, Nick Blasey, and Myron Leslie. Line score in the ball game for the Forts, 8 runs, 14 hits, no errors. And for the Quakes, 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. And here is the line from Posey. The first pitch on the way to Cornejo, misses low and outside. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Eddie Cornejo. And 2 for 3 and doing a nice job with his top half of the order. And a called strike at the outside corner. The count even at 1-1. And joining us late, both teams scored 4 runs in the first inning, and that kind of set the tone for what's happened so far here today. Is that one misses low and outside, 2-1 the count. Quakes answer with 2 more in the second to take a 6-4 lead. And the Forts had a big 3-run, 4-hit top half of the third inning as that one swung on and missed, and the count even at 2-2. They added a run back in the fourth as well when the RBI single from John McCurdy that knocked in Nick Blasey, and that's why Forts have an 8-6 lead here in the top half of the 6th inning. And after taking game 1 last night 8-4, and clinch a series victory with a win here today. Here's the 2-2. There's a swing and a line drive base hit up the middle to center field for Eddie Cornejo. And that'll bring up the center fielder Nick Blasey. Blasey's had himself quite the afternoon as well. 3 for 3. 3 singles and 2 runs scored in the 2-hole for Stockton. A single for Cornejo. Now the 15th hit of the ball game for the Forts. And that would make it 23 total hits for both sides as well, as the Quakes have 8 hits of their own. Here's the stretch. Posey set at the letters. The pickoff throw back to the bag at first, and Cornejo back in there safely. Cornejo has not attempted a stolen base now in his 17th game as a Stockton Fort. Posey looks in and comes set from the letters. Here's the pitch on the way. Check swing of the breaking ball with a called strike in the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Nick Blasey. Again in the stretch, a small lead off the bag for Cornejo, and now there's another pickoff throw back there. Wouldn't be the worst idea to steal a bag here to try to add some protection with 8-6 lead. And we'll see what they decide to do. There's the stretch from the letters, the 0-1 pitch. This is low and outside, and the count even at 1-1 now to Blasey. Cornejo leads off the bag. Fairly sizable lead now. His front foot well beyond the cutout. And taking notice of Posey as he flips back to the bag. And again, back in there safely is Eddie Cornejo. Still 1-1 the count to Blasey. 1 on, no outs. Top of the 6th here in game 2. Forts up 8-6. Posey in relief of the starter Carl Jelena, who is no longer in the ball game. Here's the stretch of the 1-1. Little hit and run action as Cornejo to second. There's a swing and a high drive in foul territory down the first base side. And over the shoulder catch. Nicely done there by Ben Johnson. And that'll be out number 1 as Cornejo has to retreat back to the bag. And that'll bring up the right fielder Myron Leslie. Leslie's had quite an afternoon. 2 singles, a double, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. And he would be batting from the right side again against the left-hander Posey. He steps in here from the right side. Forts trying to add to this 8-6 lead. Here's the stretch. Posey coming set. And another pickoff throw. Corneo drawing quite a bit of attention over there. He might not be going with a stolen base attempt, but Forts has done an excellent job in the second half executing the hit and run. Obviously, you have Leslie batting from the right side as of right now, but whenever they have a batter batting from the left side, always a good idea on the hit and run because they do a good job hitting it on the ground, especially Cornet, who's at the bag at first right now. When he's up at the plate, 8 times out of 10, he's going to get it to the right side. If you can get it to where the second baseman is when he's covering the bag on the hit and run, he usually finds a hole in right center, and that's what the Forts have done really well this season. We'll see what they decide to do right here as Cornejo leads off the bag. Here's the stretch and the pitch. And the called strike in the inside corners. The count is 0-1 to Myron Leslie. In Stockton, 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors. The Quakes, 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Here's the stretch in the 0-1. There's a swing at a high chopper, third base side, right down the line. A fair ball. I think he thought it was foul, but they ruled it fair, and safe at first will be Leslie. Nothing he can do with it there, so he'll eat it. 2 on. With a 1 down, brings up the DH, John McCurdy. So an infield single there for Myron Leslie. That one hugging the line. At third, right behind the bag is where Freddy Sandoval had it. Really no throw. So 2 on, 1 down. 4th hit of the ball game for Leslie. 4 for 4 will give way to John McCurdy, who's 1 for 3. Had an RBI single back in the 4th. Posey looks in to get the signs. No time called as McCurdy steps out of the box. Then McCurdy had been one of just 2 Ports who had not reached base safely, and he did so in the 4th inning with that single, leaving Matt Singleton in the 9th spot as the only Port who has not reached base so far today. Here's the stretch from the letters to pitch. Swung on, poked foul, third base side, and out of play. And the count is no balls and 1 strike to John McCurdy. Posey is throwing an awful lot of pitches here in relief as well, and there's some activity brewing in the pen right now for Rancho Cucamonga. Both base runners with leads off the bag. Here's the stretch. Posey look at first, the 0-1. Here's a swing at a hot shot down the left field line, with that one hooking foul. And out of play just beyond the bullpen for Rancho, and the count is 0-2 now to McCurdy. Balls in 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 down. And Port's on top, 8-6. Posey looks in, gets the signs from Michael Collins. Here's the stretch and the 0-2 pitch. That one misses up and in, and the count 1-2 now to McCurdy. And we'll see if he gets something good to hit right here. The left-hander looks in to get the signs. Incoming set at the letters. Now time is called as McCurdy steps out of the box. And he will step right back in. Cornejo at second, Leslie at first. Cornejo certainly enough speed. He can get it fair ground to come across and score and add to this lead as that one swung on and shot foul third base side right near the Quakes dugout and out of play. And the count's still 1-2 to McCurdy. Ports has scored a run in every inning but the 2nd and the 5th. Of course, the 5th, the first inning, they were set down in order. They're now with 2 on, 1 down, threatening again here in the 6th. The stretch of the 1-2 pitch. That one misses off the plate at 88 miles an hour, and the count even at 2-2 now to McCurdy. Look at a good pitch to hit right here. They do not want to walk the bases loaded. Now Posey steps off the rubber looking at second. He continues to stall here. I think he is slowly running out of gas. And, of course, now in a long relieving mode after being in the rotation most of the season. Posey was the scheduled starter for today with the late scratch. And Kellena got the nod. Here's the 2-2. There's a swing and a looper in a left center. That drops in for a base hit. Cornejo rounding third. He will come in without a throw. An RBI single for John McCurdy, who's now 2 for 4 and has 2 RBIs as well, as the Stockton Forts have now taken a 9-6 lead here in the top half of the 6th inning. Nice piece of hitting there for John McCurdy. Very patient at the plate. He just loops it into left center field, so 9-6, and I think that's going to be the end of the road for Micah Posey here in the 6th inning. And the manager, Bobby Mitchell, taking a slow walk out to the mound. That's going to be all she wrote for Posey. So they are going to make an in-game switch on a sprint call to the bullpen. With 2 on, 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Sports on top 9-6, and we'll take a 90 or a 60-second breather. And when we come back, all the information on the new Rancho Cucamonga pitcher right after this. A sprint call to the bullpen on 1420 KSTN.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out for $1.
The Stockton Sports season is in full swing, so hurry to your local Sprint store and pick up a fantastic Dollar Sunday coupon. Take the whole family out to the ball game for only $1 each and catch all the action from Sprint Home Run Hill. Get your fantastic Dollar Sunday coupon and the best wireless phones in service only at Sprint. Proud sponsor of the Stockton Ports.
Buy me some peanuts and a cell phone. I love to see the Ports play at home.
The Army National Guard.
My name is Cheryl Hatcher. I joined the National Guard because of September 11th. I wanted to make the difference in the world. The Guard is a huge help to the community. It's amazing just the support that we give to the community and that the community gives to us. If you were someone coming to me saying, I want to join the Guard, I would absolutely say that it's really one of the best decisions. We're going to give you your education, though there's no way of saying, I can't afford it. Hear the story about how the Guard changed my life at 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Sponsored by the California National Guard. Heard by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Forts with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Rudy on 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a sprint call to the bullpen here in the top half of the 6th inning as the Forts on top now 9-6 with 2 on, 1 down, and Snyder coming to the plate. He's going to do so to face the new pitcher. It is the right-hander Aaron Pullen who will toe the rubber. Third pitcher of the afternoon. Aaron Pullen, of course, is 6'3", 200-pound right-hander out of Midland, Texas. So last year with Arkansas in the Southern League, or in the Texas League, I should say. And the stats here coming into the ballgame for Pullen: 0-1, a 6.94 ERA, now in his 11th appearance of the season. In 11.2 innings, he's given up 9 earned runs, 13 hits. The first pitch on the way, a strike in the count, 0-1 to Snyder. He's also struck out 9, walked 3, and batters batting .265 against him. And then again, 2 on, 1 down. Here's the 0-1 to Snyder. There's a huge shot off the end of the bat to the second baseman, Ryan Leahy. Has only 1 play to go, and that's first base. And on the 4-3, Snyder is retired in the routine throw from Leahy. That is every bit as good as a sacrifice, although it won't show up that way in the books, because now Leslie down to third base and McCurdy over to second, both in scoring position with 2 outs. Brings up the first baseman, Haas Pratt. At 1 for 3, a double with an RBI and a run scored in the third. So 2 on, 2 outs. Here's the stretch from Pullen, and the pitch on the way to Pratt. And there's a swing and a high drive, fairly deep to center field, back to the warning track, to the wall. Forget about it. A 3-run homer for Haas Pratt. And the Stockton Forts have really broken this thing wide open here in the top of the 6th, as they have taken 11-6 lead. Hit that one to the deepest part of the ballpark, and Haas Pratt getting the rare start at first base, and he has taken full advantage. Now 2 for 4, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Luis Perez. Ball is carrying quite well for both sides here today. And Sean Rodriguez and Cody Fuller each with first-inning home runs, and now the Forts answering back. A 3-run shot for Pratt. It is now a 12-6 game and brings up the left fielder, Luis Perez. As Perez steps Stockton. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball and a called strike. On the inside corners, the count is 0-1. Perez, the RBI single in the first, the sac fly with an RBI in the third, and grounded out in the fifth. Here's the 0-1. And takes for ball outside as the count even in a ball and a strike apiece. It's been an interesting season for Haas Pratt, a guy that's really trying to hone his game as a catcher. There's a swing and a line shot to left center, a diving effort in left center field, and a tremendous catch for Josh LeBlanc to retire the side here in the sixth. That is one of the best catches of the year out in left center field, and that will retire the side. But the Ports do add to their lead. They score 4 runs, and they do so on 4 hits, highlighted by a 3-run homer for Haas Pratt. Also, no errors and none left. As we head to the last of the sixth, it's 12-6. Ports on top. We're back in a few moments for the last half of the inning here on 1420 KSTN.
For good times and great food, come to the Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar in Stockton. You'll love the casual family atmosphere. There's tons of video games for the kids, internet golf, and your favorite music playing on the jukebox. And the Graduate is a great place to have a party. They have a full menu with items for every taste bud. Hot wings, burgers, awesome pizza, and even salads. So stop by for lunch or dinner. The Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar, 2207 Country Club Boulevard, just east of I-5.
Mancow's Morning Madhouse. Hi, it's Mancow. Heard the bartender, Christopher Walken Theater. Phone scams 10 minutes after every hour. We do more in a half hour than any other radio show does in a week. Get a Mancow on. Get up with us right here. Mancow's Morning Madhouse. Get your Mancow on Monday morning starting at 5 a.m. Join me, Mancow, and my whole Morning Madhouse crew on 1420 KSTN.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports with those Volgenetti and Zach Rudy on 1420 KSTN.
Last half of the sixth inning here at the epicenter. And, well, it's been eventful just about every frame. Ports up 12-6. They have 12 runs, 18 hits, no errors. For the Quakes, 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Brad Davis on the mound for another inning of work. And, well, how about Haas Pratt again? A 3-run homer, now 2 for 4. And here in the last half of the sixth, Davis will finish the last half of the order as well. 9-1-2. Josh LeBlanc on top of the order. Nate Sutton and Freddy Sandoval. Then the Ports with 18 hits, had 10 hits in yesterday's game with an 8-4 victory. So the ball carrying quite well in the muggy afternoon here in the epicenter. And as numbers coming in, we're in front of 3,661, mostly screaming young fans here on Daycare Day. Here's the pitch and a called strike on the outside corners. The count is 0-1 to Josh LeBlanc. And safe on a fielder's choice, stole a base, scored a run in the second, and was hit by a pitch in the third. That pitch misses low and away, and the count even at 1-1. Lefty on lefty matchup with the southpaw Brad Davis, who was in the wind. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And the fastball misses low and into the count. 2 balls and a strike to LeBlanc. And here is the wind, the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball and a called strike in the outside corner of the count, even at 2-2. And here's the wind of the 2-2 pitch. Just swinging that ball, lifted down the left field line, racing over there. A sliding catch for Luis Perez, and he puts it away for out number 1 here in the sixth. Some great defense from both sides. Now in left and left center field here so far today. And with 1 out, it brings up the DH Nate Sutton. Sutton 2 for 3, 2 singles and 2 runs scored with a stolen base back in the second as well. Boy, Davis really doing a nice job here in relief of Braden. He's given up just 1 hit. That was to Cody Fuller back in the 5th inning. Here is the wind and the pitch. That one misses off the plate in the outside corner. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Nate Sutton. And here's the wind of the 1-0. Breaking ball. This is low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Sutton. We are 18 minutes past 3 now here on the West Coast, and we're still in the bottom half of the 6th. Offense has been the name of the game here today. The 2-0. And there's a called strike in the outside corner. Now 2-1. And here's the wind and the 2-1 pitch. There's a swing and a high drive deep to right field. Back to the warning track to the wall. And that ball is out of here. A solo home run for Sutton. Now it is 12-7. And that ball is certainly carrying well here today. And Sutton picking up right where he left off yesterday. Ken had a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning of yesterday's 3 for 5. Now Sutton 3 for 4, 2 singles, a solo home run, 3 runs scored, and it's now a 12-7 ball game as it brings up Freddy Sandoval, who's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored in the first. Here's the line in the first pitch on the way, a big breaking ball with a called strike on the inside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Freddy Sandoval. And the line from Davis in the 0-1 pitch. Tries to paint the outside corner and misses, and the count even at 1-1. We've seen 4 homers in the game, 3 for Rancho, 1 for Stockton as that one fouled first base side and out of play, and the count 1-2. And surprisingly, it's the Ports still on top with a 5-run lead at 12-7. In large part to the fact the Ports have doubled the hit department of the Quakes. Ports with 18 hits, the Quakes with 9. And also, 2 of those 3 home runs for Rancho are solo shots. 1 from Fuller in the first, and of course 1 from Sutton moments ago here in the 6th. Davis in the wind, a 1-2 pitch, breaking ball. There's a swing and a bouncer up the middle. Charging is Cornejo. Plenty of time to make the throw, and a good stretch at first for Pratt to hold the bag. And that'll be out number 2 here in the 6th. As it brings up the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. And as we talk more about Rodriguez and a guy that is, well, he's come back to haunt the Stockton Ports quite a few times in the short time that we played them. Talked about coming into this ball game against the Stockton Ports this season. Rodriguez batting .538 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs. He has a triple, or he has a 3-run homer and a double with 4 RBIs and 2 for 3. Grounded out in his last at bat. What a breakout year this has been for him. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, lifted, foul, first base side, and out of play. The count is 0-1. And this is a shortstop who is the only offensive player on the active 25-man roster for Rancho that is ranked in the top 30 in the prospects by Baseball America in the Angels farm system. And Rodriguez last year in Cedar Rapids in the Midwest League batted just .250 with 14 total home runs. Now with 20 on the season, still a lot of baseball left to be played. That one swung on and driven foul, first base side and out of play, and the count 0-2. Rodriguez batting .306, so that is 56 points higher than what he batted last year. Here's the 0-2 pitch and a breaking ball. This is outside of the count 1-2. Scouting report from Baseball America saying that Rodriguez lacks confidence at the plate and hasn't been performing all that well against quality pitching so far in his professional career. I think he can erase those comments after what he's been able to do this season. Here's the line from Davis and the 1-2 pitch. That one misses outside with a changeup, and the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases clear, 2 outs. In bottom half of the 6th inning, Ports up 12-7 here at the epicenter. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Here's the line of the 2-2 pitch. In the middle of the windup, time is called as Rodriguez steps out of the box. Looks like he has something caught in his eye. Takes off the helmet to wipe the sweat off, and this very muggy afternoon here in Rancho. And steps back into the box now. In the wind is Davis. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one misses off the plate of the outside corner. And the count running full at 3-2 now to Sean Rodriguez. Another shortstop drafted out of Miami High School, much like A-Rod. That one swung on and missed a breaking ball, low and away, and offered right through it as that will retire the side. here in the sixth. First punch out for Davis comes at a good time as well. Rancho, they do get a run back of the solo home run from Sutton. As they get one run, one hit, no errors, none left. We're through six. We'll head to seven. It's 12-7 Ports on top of the Quakes, and we're back in a few moments for the seventh inning on 1420 KSTN.
Have you ever thought about becoming a foster parent and improving the life of a child in need? This is Landon Powell of Stockton Ports. For more than 40 years, Agape Village's foster family agency has been committed to healing hearts and building families. But they cannot do it alone. Find out how you can become a foster parent by calling Agape Villages at 1-800-566-2225. The Stockton Ports, Butler Construction, and New York Life encourage you to make a difference in the life of a child.
How far a team goes in the season often depends on the coach. It's the coach's job to make the right decision every time. When you're deciding on the right loan program for your home or business, Hilltop Lending Corporation, one of the largest wholesale brokerages in California, can coach you in the right direction. They specialize in wholesale loans, residential and commercial lending. They work for over 200 banks and lenders. For a free consultation, give them a call at 209-951-2230. That's 209-951-2230. Hilltop Lending Corporation, the nation's premier lender.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, through six as we head to the top half of the seventh inning. It's 12-7. Ports on top of the Quakes. Ken Aaron pulling on the mound for another inning of work in relief here. For the Stockton Ports in the seventh, it'll be 8-9-1. Gregorio, Petit, Matt Singleton, then top of the order, Eddie Corneo. Line score of the ball game for Stockton, 12 runs, 18 hits, and no errors. For the Quakes, 7 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. A wild one for the Ports. They scored 4 in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 4 in the sixth. Highlighted in the sixth inning was that 3-run home run from Haas Cradwell. For the Quakes, they had 4 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the sixth inning we saw just moments ago. On the solo shot from Nate Sutton. So it'll be Petit, Singleton, and Corneo. Petit will lead things off, steps in 1 for 3. A single back in the third inning. First pitch on the way from Pullen misses low and away, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Gregorio, Petit, and here is the stretch from the letters, the 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and the count even at 1-1. Pullen looks in, comes set, setting up outside Collins, the 1-1 pitch. There's a swing and a flare in a shallow right center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. So Petit has his second hit of the ball game. Leadoff single to start the seventh, and that brings up the catcher, Matt Singleton. And we'll see if Singleton can join the hit parade. Again, we talked about him being the lone Port to not reach base so far, and has grounded out twice and flown out once. He steps in from the right side against the right-hander Pullen. A single for Petit, now the 19th hit of the ball game for Stockton. Here's the stretch. And the pitch on the way to Singleton. Breaking ball. This is upstairs. And the count 1 ball and no strikes to the Ports catcher. As Petit leads off the bag at first. Here's the stretch from the letters, the 1-0. That one misses off the plate on the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Now to Matt Singleton. And Singleton still waiting his first official hit as a Stockton Port. Now in his 4th game of the season. Here's the stretch and the 2-0. And he takes outside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. Singleton has reached base with a walk. And was back in the Visalia series. Here's the stretch from the letters, the 3-0 pitch. And taking all the way, a breaking ball misses inside, so he walks on 4 straight pitches. And that'll put 2 on with no outs to start the seventh. Brings up the second baseman, Eddie Corneo. Corneo is 3 for 4, 2 singles, a double, and 2 runs scored. The only time he was retired is when he grounded out in the 4th. He steps in from the left side. Here is the stretch from the letters. Pitch on the way. That one misses inside. The count 1 ball and no strikes to Cornejo. 12-7 is your score. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Again, if you didn't tune in yesterday, again, the Ports winners 8-4. And they were up in a big way here in Game 2. That breaking ball misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. No time is called as Bennett, the pitching coach, out there again, and he has had a long afternoon. Talking with the catcher, Michael Collins, and pitcher Aaron Pullen. And there's no activity in the Quakes bullpen right now. Pullen, of course, is the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon. And Carl Jelinek got the start. Mike Capozzi coming in middle relief and had a tough go of things. And now Pullen trying to settle things down. Davis on the flip side, he's done a sensational job holding a lead for Stockton. Gave up just that 1 run on the homer last half inning to Nate Sutton. With the exception of that, he's given up just 1 other hit, and that was a single. So 2-0, no out, and 2-0 count to Cornejo. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses inside. And the count 3 balls and no strikes to the Ports second baseman. Nick Lazy waiting in the wings on deck. As Pullen looks in. Comes set at the letters, look at second, now the 3-0 pitch. And a called strike at the outside corner, 3-1 now. The count to Cornejo. Petit leads off the bag. At second, Singleton a pretty good lead off the bag at first. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that one misses inside. So the walk has been issued. Bases are now loaded. No outs. And it'll bring up center fielder Nick Lazy, who's 3 for 4. 3 singles and 2 runs scored. And they were 1 swing away from really just running away with this thing in Game 2. Now 12-7 with the bases loaded and no outs, and a chance for a whole lot more. He's pulling it in the stretch. Looks in to get the signs from Collins. Now sets up in the outside corner. The stretch of the pitch. Breaking ball. And a called strike on the inside corner as the count is 0-1 to Blasey. And in the stretch from the letters, here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. Tried to check his swing, but they say that he did go around. They count 0-2 now. On the Stockton Ports center fielder, Nick Lazy. 3:30 here on the West Coast after the 1:05 start time. Here's the stretch of the 0-2 pitch, and another check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. With the umpiring crew, and that'll be out number 1 and strikeout number 1 for Aaron Pullen as it brings up the right fielder Myron Leslie. And he's got a chance right now to have a career day. Already 4 for 4, 3 singles, a double, and 3 runs scored. And he comes in an RBI machine with an RBI opportunity. Bases loaded and 1 down. Batting back from the left side against the right-hander Pullen. Here is the stretch from the letters. The pitch on the way. That one misses inside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes to Myron Leslie. And here is the stretch. Coming set at the letters, sitting up outside as the catcher. Here's the pitch. And a called strike in the outside corner, and the count even at 1-1 now to Leslie. These numbers just continue to rise. A real quiet first month and a half of the season at the plate, but once the light bulb went on, it has not gone off. Here's the 1-1. Checked his swing at the breaking ball inside, and the count 2-1 now to Leslie. Going to get a good pitch to hit here, I would imagine, with the bases loaded and a 2-1 count. He does not want to go to 3-1, does Pullen. Here's the stretch and the 2-1 pitch, and that one misses off the plate. 3-1 the count. Got to believe that Leslie's going to be sitting dead red here with the bases loaded. 3 balls, 1 strike, bases loaded, 1 down. Ports up 12-7 here in the top of the 7th. And here's the stretch and the 3-1 pitch. There's a swing at a high chopper foul. First base side and out of play. And the count running full now at 3-2. Again with 1 out. Probably thinking about getting the ball up in the air, hoping for a sacrifice. long as he doesn't hit it on the ground, he'll keep the double play possibility away from happening. And he takes the ball here. That could walk in a run as well. So a lot of options for Leslie. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And takes ball 4 in the outside corner. Gregorio Petit will be forced in. Singleton goes down to third. Cornejo up to second. It is now 13-7. Still bases loaded, 1 down. And that'll bring up John McCurdy, who's 2 for 4. A pair of singles, a run scored, and 2 RBIs. And he steps in on the right side. Tim Stockton with 13 runs, 19 hits, no errors. And the Quakes 7 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Here's the stretch. Pulling, set at the letters. The pitch. That one misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to John McCurdy. Infielders playing back, outfielders straight away. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a chop foul right in front of the plate off the foot of McCurdy, and the count even at 1-1. He kind of gingerly walks behind the plate to shake it off. Stockton has put up some tremendous run support for their pitching here today. In 2 separate 4-run innings. A 4-run first inning and a 4-run 6th inning. Also scored 3 in the first, 1 in the 4th, now 1 in the 7th in counting. 1-1 to count here to John McCurdy. Here's the stretch from the letters, the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. A change up there in the outside corner, and the count 1-2 now to McCurdy. Third base is Singleton. At second base, Cornejo. At first base, Leslie, the 1-2 pitch. And that one misses off the plate. A breaking ball at 83. And the count even at 2-2 now to the Stockton Porch DH. Now there is more activity up and going for Rancho, so I believe that this may be the end of the road for Aaron Pullen. Just the stretch from the letters to 2-2. Here's a swing and a chop foul third base side. And out of play, that was well inside, and may have hit McCurdy if he didn't swing at the pitch. He likes it up and in. So talked to Zach Rudy during the postgame show on a victory a couple Sundays ago at Banner Island Ballpark, and McCurdy talks about the homer that he hit out towards left center field. And that was against San Jose. He had mentioned that if he had not swung at the pitch, it probably would have hit him in the knee. And that was the case right there with that pitch as the count even at 2-2. A guy that likes to turn it on the inside corner. It's one of his wheelhouse. Now he calls time as McCurdy takes off the helmet, puts it right back on, fixes his batting gloves, and steps back into the box. Bases loaded, 1 down, and a 2-2 count to John McCurdy. The run has already come across to get the Ports a 13-7 lead here in the top of the 7th. Here's a swing and a towering drive down the left field line, but hooking foul. And that'll find its way in the bullpen for the Quakes, and it's just out of the reach of Drew Toussaint. And the count still even at 2-2 to McCurdy. Here's Brian Snyder waits on deck. And Snyder has doubled, singled, walked, and grounded out. It's been a barn burner here, and again, we are still just in the top of the 7th inning, so who knows what the final line's going to look like here today. Of course, can really put it away with one swing of the bat. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's not the swing they needed. A swing and a miss and a breaking ball low and away, and McCurdy will strike out for the 3rd time here today. Second strikeout of the game and of the inning for Aaron Pullen with 2 outs. That'll bring up third baseman Brian Snyder. Snyder had the big 2 RBI double with a run scored in the first. Also singled and scored in the 3rd. Walked in the 4th and grounded out to the right side in the 6th. And digs in from the right side as Pullen in the stretch. Looks in and gets the signs from Collins. And here's the stretch from the letters. The pitch. Right down the chute for a called strike at the count 0-1 to Brian Snyder. Forts do not want to squander this opportunity to really kind of put it out of reach. And in fact, this is what happened several times against San Jose with bases loaded and no outs or one out. They've had a tough time capitalizing as that pitch misses inside. He's only stranded 4 so far here tonight, which is a good sign. Here's the pitch on the way. A check swing, but a called strike in the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Brian Snyder. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th. Forts up 13-7. Here's the stretch in the 0-2 pitch. There's a swing and a bouncing ball to the right side. A cue shot off the end of the bat of Snyder's. And Ryan Leahy, plenty of time to make the throw to first, and does, and that'll retire the side here in the 7th. The Forts do get a run on a single from Petit to start off the inning. They get 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. Time to stand up and stretch here at the epicenter, and boy, do we need it. It's been an interesting game. Forts up 13-7. Back in a few moments for the last half of the 7th here on 1420 KSTN.
Don't wait any longer. Find relief today. If you suffer from headaches, neck, or back pain, go to Quality Chiropractic. Whether you've been injured in the car, at work, or on the field, Dr. Mike Arison can help you. He specializes in whiplash, laser therapy, and lumbar disc decompression therapy. Dr. Mike doesn't use drugs or surgery. He treats the cause of your pain. Go to QualityChiropractic.net or call 957-9901. Find relief from pain today at Quality Chiropractic, 5637 North Pershing Avenue in Stockton.
Cracked windshield? Low Price Auto Glass will take care of you. A few questions are always asked when customers bring their auto in.
Will my insurance pay for it? Is there a warranty? Do I have to make an appointment?
There's yes to all these questions at Low Price Auto Glass. Call 948-4975. Professional work on new and used windshields. You get a 1-year free chip repair on new installed windshields and a lifetime warranty on labor. So Low Price Auto Glass will take care of you. Stop in today. 3988 South Highway 99 in Stockton on East Frontage Road near Pick and Pull.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Forts, only on 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We just finished stretch time as we shift gears to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's 13-7. Stockton on top of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. And, of course, this and every 7th inning stretch is brought to you in part by Quality Chiropractic. If you suffer from headaches, neck, or back pain, call Dr. Mike Arison at 957-9901. I'll give you fast, effective relief and have you back to normal in no time at all. Also, make sure you come in today for a relaxing therapeutic massage. That's Quality Chiropractic, 5637 North Pershing Avenue in Stockton, California. Well, here in the bottom half of the 7th, again, Forts up 13-7. They have 13 runs, 19 hits, no errors. For the Quakes, 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors. New pitcher on the mound for Stockton. He was scheduled to start this ball game with the emergence of Dallas Braden into the bullpen momentarily. It is the right-hander, Kenny DeRose. And DeRose comes in a win-loss record of 1-0, an ERA of 4.91, now in his 4th appearance of the season. First 3 appearances were starts, and 14 2/3 has given up 8 earned runs on 16 hits. And the first pitch on the way, a fastball, and a called strike in the inside corner, 0-1 to count to Michael Collins. He's also struck out 10, walked 8, batters batting .276 against him. Here's the 0-1 to Collins, and a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2 now. To the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes catcher, who is 0-3. And again, it's Collins, Johnson, and Fuller, 4, 5, 6. Trip to the order for Rancho here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Here is the wind of the 0-2 pitch. And a breaking ball misses low and outside. A check swing, but they're going to say that he went around. And it's going to be strike 3. Out number 1, strikeout number 1 for Kenny DeRose as it brings up the first baseman, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, 1 for 3, had the double in the 3rd, is also flown out and grounded out. He will step in from the left side against the right-hander, Kenny DeRose. And here is the wind and the pitch. And a fastball at 90 misses high and outside of the count. 1 ball and no strikes. And the right-hander quickly back in the line. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. That one misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Ben Johnson. Of course, folks, want to remind you to stay tuned for the post-game show. We'll have our Solstice Mortgage Player of the Game. Brought to you by Solstice Mortgage, your local lender with 2 convenient locations in Lodi and in Stockton. Here's the 2-0. There's a called strike in the outside corner. Now 2-1 the count to Ben Johnson. And here is the line and the 2-1 pitch. That one misses high and outside. 3 balls and a strike to count to Johnson. And Cody Fuller waits in the wings on deck. Rose looks in, gets the signs from Singleton. Now setting up in the outside corner. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, foul back, third base side. In out of play as the count 3-1. And now 3-2, I should say, on the Rancho first baseman, Ben Johnson. See if he can put him away right here. Rose has had good strikeout numbers his entire career. Here is the wind and the 3-2 payoff pitch. That one swung on and skied to straightaway center field. Blazy shading a few steps over to his right. He will make the catch and put it away for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Cody Fuller. Fuller, a solo home run in the first, struck out in the third and single. In the 7th, he is 2 for 3. The roast in the wine. Here's the pitch on the way. And a fastball with a called strike in the inside corner as the count 0-1 to Cody Fuller. And here is the line of the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a chop foul right behind the plate, and the count is 0-2 to Fuller. No balls, 2 strikes. Base is cleared, 2 outs. After the 7th inning, Forts on top, 13-7. And here's the line of the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball fought off in a shallow right field. It'll drop right in front of Myron Leslie. A 2-out single for Cody Fuller, his 3rd hit of the ballgame, and that'll keep the 7th inning alive as it brings up the second baseman, Ryan Leahy. And that actually was a really good pitch from DeRosa as he jammed him. He did fight it off just beyond the outstretched glove of Pratt in the shallow right. So a 2-out single as Leahy now steps in. He has flown out. He's been hit by a pitch and also flown out again in the 5th inning. So he's 0 for 2 as he steps in from the right side. That hit puts the Quakes in the double-digit department with hits now with 10. So 29 total hits for both sides. Force with 19 and the Quakes again with 10. Here's the stretch of the pitch from DeRose. There's a swing and a high pop fly. Slicing foul first base side. Hodge Pratt giving chase, but he will run out of real estate as it finds its way into the second row behind the Stockton Porch dugout and out of play. And the count is 0-1 to Ryan Leahy. Fuller on first base, the count 0-1 to Leahy. Joyce looks in, gets the signs, coming set just below the letters, and the 0-1 pitch. Base runner going, a breaking ball, a called strike, and no throw there from the catcher, Matt Singleton. So no balls and 2 strikes, the count to Leahy. Now time is called as the catcher, Singleton, quickly out there talking with DeRose. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 7th. DeRose on the mound, 3rd pitcher of the afternoon for Stockton, coming in relief of Braden and Brad Davis. Here is the stretch. On the letters, a look over at the bag at second of the 0-2 pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss, flowed right past him on the outside corner at 92 on the guns. And that will retire the side here in the 7th. Second strikeout for DeRose. And Rancho runs 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We are through 7 as we head to the 8th. It's 13-7. Ports on top of the big way. We're back in a few moments for the
Business Systems has been delivering results to businesses in California's Central Valley since 1904. Lucas Business Systems personalizes solutions to meet the individual needs of their customers, from the small office to the large multi-user organizations, using the Comica Minolta BizHub product line of multifunctional copiers and printers. They provide your office with advanced document imaging and management solutions. Lucas Business Systems is proud to be the official technology provider of the Stockton Ports and wishes the team the best in Banner Island Ballpark with their affiliate, the Oakland A's.
A regular training program keeps a ball player off the disabled list. A regular maintenance on your transmission will keep your car off the disabled list. High-Speed Transmissions is Stockton's finest transmission shop with years of experience with standard and automatic transmissions and clutches. Whether it's foreign or American vehicles, you can rely on them for expert transmission repair and replacement. Visit High-Speed Transmissions at 901 West Fremont or give them a call at 209-943-1590. They're open Saturdays.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Force, only on 1420 KSTN.
We are now through 7, and as we head to the top of the 8th inning, the Ports on top of the Rancho, Cucamonga Quakes by a score of 13-7. A new inning, new pitcher on the mound for Rancho as well. And the new pitcher on the mound is Rafael Cruz. Stats on Cruz coming into the ballgame, no wins, no losses, and a 7.71 ERA. Now on his 9th appearance of the season, all in relief. In 11 2/3 innings of work, Cruz has come out of the pen to give up 11 runs, 10 of them earned on 19 hits, striking out 3, walking 2. And batters are batting .365 against them. So here in the 8th, it'll be Pratt, Perez, and Petit, the P-Boys, 6, 7, and 8. In-line score in the ballgame for the Ports, 13 runs, 19 hits, no errors. For the Quakes, 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. And here's the wind of the first pitch on the way. Misses low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Haas Pratt. Had himself a ball game, 2 for 4. The double with the RBI and a run scored in the 3rd. Also a 3-run homer in the 6th. The deepest part of the park, out the straightaway center. Here's the wind and the 1-0. There's a swing and a chop foul right off the foot. Bouncing foul down the first base side. And the count even at a ball and a strike apiece now. 2 Haas Pratt. And Rafael Cruz, the 4th pitcher of the afternoon for Rancho. Here is the wind of the 1-1. And Pratt takes inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike to count. It was Carl Jelena who got the start, then Micah Posey, Aaron Pullen, now Rafael Cruz. And here is the wind and the 2-1. And the breaking ball misses low and outside. 3 balls and a strike to count. 2 Haas Pratt. And the Ports up 13-7. They did squander a bases-loaded opportunity, scoring just 1 run in the 7th inning. Here's the 3-1. There's a swing at a hard hit ball, but right at the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. And there to make the play, 1 down in the 8th, as that'll bring up the left fielder, Luis Perez. Perez with an RBI single in the 1st, sacrifice fly with an RBI in the 3rd. He also grounded out and flown out. 1 for 3 officially. He has been so clutch in the month of July. As Perez, timely hitting. He did help key that 3-run third with that sac fly and knew he had to get the ball up in the air and was able to do so to bring home the second of 3 runs in that inning. Here's the pitch. There's a swing at a high fly ball. That one very shallow in right center. Backtracking is the shortstop, and that is Ryan Leahy who makes the catch. So 2 up and 2 down, and that'll bring up the shortstop for Gregorio Petit. Petit 2 for 4. 2 singles and scored a run in his last plate appearance in the 7th. And that was the first run that Stockton had scored, really, since their big 4-run 6th inning and the 3-run home run. Here's the pitch. There's a shot to left and dropping quickly underneath the glove of Toussaint. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Rounding first inning for 2 and possibly 3 is Petit. He's on his high horse heading down to 3rd now, and he will glide in there safely. Now 90 feet away with 2 outs as it brings up the catcher, Matt Singleton. And that is now the 20th hit of the ball game for the Stockton Forts. I guess they'll rule that one a triple for Petit as it brings up the catcher, Matt Singleton. Singleton digs in. He did reach base safely on the walk in the 7th, and now every Stockton Fort has reached base safely here today. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball, a called strike in the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Matt Singleton. And here is the stretch from the belt. 0-1 pitch. That one misses inside. Has the count even at 1-1. As Petit leads off the bag at third. Here's the stretch from Cruz from the belt, 0-1-1. That one swing of a foul ball. First base side right off the screen, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Singleton. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Ports up 13-7. 20 hits in the contest alone for Stockton. 30 hits total. And the Quakes 10 hits of their own. Cruz in the stretch. Look over at third. Now set at the belt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a swing, a little number off the end of the bat. A slow roll to the right side. Leahy up with it. Will fire down to first. And that will retire the side in the top of the 8th inning. The Ports, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We head to the last of the 8th inning. 13-7. Ports on top of the Quakes. Back in a few moments for the bottom half of the 8th inning here on 1420 KSTN.
Life can be full of risks. If you're self-employed or an individual, you already know that you take risks every day. But one thing you shouldn't take risk with is your family's health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company to get it now. If you have health insurance, call Mega and see if they can give you better coverage at a better rate. Mega helps tons of small business owners and individuals. You can reach Mega 24 hours a day at 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Don't take risks with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. Without the right health insurance plan, you could be in trouble. For affordable health insurance, call 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Home office, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not available in all states, and benefits may vary by state.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Forts with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we head to the last half of the 8th inning. Here at the epicenter in Rancho, Cucamonga, it's 13-7. Forts on top of the big way. And a new pitcher on the mound here for the last half of the 8th. It will be the left-hander, Heath Castle. Here's Heath Castle. The Paintsville, Kentucky native steps in. A win-loss record on the season of no wins, no losses, and a 3.57 ERA. He has done a great job in the pen this season for the Forts. Now his 17th appearance, all in relief, 17 2/3 innings of work, has given up 7 earned runs on 21 hits, striking out 19, walking 12, and batters batting .292 against him. So here in the last half of the 8th, it'll be 8-9-1, Drew Toussaint, Josh LeBlanc, and Nate Sutton for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Again, line score in the ball game. Well, ready for this? Forts 13 runs, 20 hits, no errors. Quakes 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. It is daycare day here at the ballpark, and while these youngsters are not watching a traditional baseball game, 20 runs and 30 total hits from both sides. Very California League-like, however. It's been that way all year. And Drew Toussaint will be the man to lead things off, 1 for 3 with a single in the second. So we'll see if Castle can make quick work of the Quakes here in the bottom half of the eighth. Here's the stretch from the belt, first pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the screen, has the count 0-1 to Drew Toussaint. Again, game 2 of this 3-game series. Port's in good shape to take the game, which would give them the series win, despite the outcome of tomorrow's ball game. And a good way to start the road trip as we head to Victorville to take on High Desert. That breaking ball misses outside, and the count even at 1-1. Castle looks in, setting up outside is Singleton. Here's the 1-1. That one swung on and driven foul, first base side and out of play. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now to Drew Toussaint. We are right at the 4 o'clock hour now here on the West Coast on 1420 AM KSTN Stockton. They're home for Ports baseball all season long. Here's the stretch from the belt, the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and lined in the left field. That'll drop in front of Luis Perez for a leadoff single to start the eighth as it brings up the center fielder, Josh LeBlanc. And that is the first time that Rancho has got the leadoff guy on since the double from Ben Johnson in the third. LeBlanc will step in from the left side, a lefty-on-lefty matchup, and boy, what a great job Keith Castle has done against the left-handers this season. Here's the pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball. Misses low and outside of the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Josh LeBlanc. Keith Castle has a 1.29 ERA against the left-handers. He's given up just 1 earned run on 8 hits in 7 innings of work against lefties. Now time is called as an errant baseball comes out of the Rancho bullpen in left field. And here's the stretch from the belt, the 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a bouncer up the middle. This could be a double play ball. Cornejo flips over to Petit for 1. Back to first. Yes, sir. A 4-6-3. Buy 1, get 1 free. Cornejo to Petit to Pratt. And just like that, 2 outs and the base is clear as that'll bring up the DH, Nate Sutton. Another thing that Castle does extremely well, he induces quite a few ground balls, and that was a perfect time for it right there. Now Sutton steps in. He is 3 for 4, 2 singles, a stolen base, a solo home run, and 3 runs scored. And the first pitch misses low as the count 1 ball and no strikes to Sutton. And here is the stretch from the belt, the pitch. Breaking ball and a called strike in the outside corner as the count even at 1-1 now to Sutton. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup. Castle set at the belt. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And the fastball misses low and away. 2 balls and a strike to count on the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes DH. Base is cleared, 2 outs. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Rancho running out of opportunities to climb back in. Here's the 2-1. There's a swing and a high fly ball, right center field, fairly deep, backtracking, and over the shoulder catch by Nick Blasey. A few steps in front of the warning track as that will retire the side. In the 8th, a nice inning for Heath Castle. For the Quakes, no runs, 1 hit, no errors after the double play, none left on base. We are through 8 as we head to 9. Final chance to add more breathing room for Stockton. They're up 13-7, and we're back in a few moments for the 9th inning on 1420 KSTN.
Next up, a tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you
Now that's cool, but there's more to it, because every sip is a kick and mash up of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more. You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bowl cake, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Have you ever thought about becoming a foster parent and improving the life of a child in need? This is Landon Powell of the Stockton Ports. For more than 40 years, Agape Village's foster family agency has been committed to healing hearts and building families, but they cannot do it alone. Find out how you can become a foster parent by calling Agape Villages at 1-800-566-2225. The Stockton Ports, Butler Construction, and New York Life encourage you to make a difference in the life of a child.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Rudy on 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're through 8 as we head to the top half of the 9th inning. It is 13-7, Ports on top of the Quakes. And for the Quakes, looks like another new pitcher on the mound. It's the left-hander Joe Torres. Talk about him in just a moment. And that's for Stockton here in the 9th inning. Final chance to add some more breathing room to this big 6-run lead. It'll be top half of the order to start things off. Eddie Cornejo, Nick Blasey, and Myron Leslie. And the skinny here on Joe Torres is the left-hander, 6'2", 195-pounder out of Kissimmee, Florida. Last year spent time with both Rancho and Cedar Rapids. And the stats this year on Torres coming into this ball game has a win-loss record of 2-4, an ERA of 7.24 now in his 34th game of the season. In 32 in the third innings, he's given up a total of 26 earned runs and 28 hits. He struck out 34, walked 53. The pitch misses outside on the count 1-0. Batter's batting .237 against him. I think his name came up earlier on in the broadcast. We talked about the troubles on the mound for a called strike at the count even at 1-1. Micah Posey, we talked about Posey, who has a total of 48 walks issued on the season coming into the game here today. Well, Torres with 53 certainly has more than that. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that one misses inside. And the count 2 balls and a strike to Eddie Cornejo, who scored 2 runs today. Has a 3-for-4 going. A couple of singles and a double, also has walked and grounded out. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. Here is the wind and the 2-1. That one misses up and in, and the count 3-1 now to Eddie Cornejo. Ports 13 runs, 20 hits, no errors. Quakes 7 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. And here is the wind and the 3-1 pitch. That one misses low and outside, and a walk has been issued to Eddie Cornejo to start the 9th, as that'll bring up the center fielder, Nick Blasey. Blasey's had quite a ball game as well, 3-for-5 with 3 singles and 2 runs scored. So the walks continue here for Joe Torres. 54 walks now in 33-plus innings. And the lefty looks in and comes set right at the belt. Here's the first pitch on the way. And the fastball right off the plate on the outside corner for a ball, 1-0. As Cornejo leads off the bag at first, here's the stretch of the 1-0 pitch. And the breaking ball misses low and in, and the count 2 balls and no strikes to Nick Blasey. Some of the youngsters have still stuck around. Most of them carrying squirt bottles, spraying each other down. On a hot afternoon here in SoCal. Here's the 2-0. And we called strike at the inside corner. And it's the count 2-1 now. And Blasey steps in again from the right side. Here's the stretch from Torres. A look over at the bag at first. Cornejo not being held on. Here's the 2-1 and a called strike at the inside corner. The count even at 2-2 now to Blasey. And from the belt, here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. The fastball misses inside, and the count running full of 3-2 now to Blasey. And here is the stretch. Torres coming set from the belt. Here's the 3-2 pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Blew past him on the inside corner. And that'll be out number one, strikeout number one for Torres, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Myron Leslie. And Leslie will have one more shot at his fifth hit of the game if he can pull it off. 4 for 4, 3 singles, a double, and 3 runs scored with an RBI. Also walked in his last plate appearance in the 7th. And here is the stretch from the belt. First pitch on the way from Torres to Leslie. That one misses outside of the count. 1 ball and no strikes to Leslie. And once again coming set as Collins sets up outside. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and chopped foul third base side. And the count even at 1-1 to Leslie. He has been batting from both sides of the plate pretty much all game long. They went righty-lefty, righty-lefty. And the left-hander here down the stretch, which is Joe Torres. Here's the stretch. And the 1-1, that fastball well inside. Almost got a piece of Leslie. Now they're going to say it did. It hit Myron Leslie. That'll put 2 on with 1 down. So Myron Leslie reaches base all 6 times he comes to the plate today. 2 on, 1 down, and that brings up John McCurdy, who's now 2 for 5 on the night with 2 singles, a run scored, and 2 RBIs. Here's Torres. Looks in to get the signs from Collins. Now coming set just below the belt. Look over at second, then at first. The pitch. And the fastball, the called strike. At the count, 0-1 to John McCurdy. It's been an interesting afternoon of baseball here at the Epicenter. We knew it would be after a big 8-run first inning with 4 runs for both sides. That pitch misses off the plate on the outside corner, and the count even at 1-1. Ports took a 4-0 lead into the bottom half of the first inning, 4 runs on 5 hits, and well, Rancho answered the call with 4 runs of their own, capped off by a 3-run home run from Sean Rodriguez and a solo shot from Cody Fuller. Here's the 1-1. There's a swing and a broken bat. Slow roller to the shortstop. They got it second back to first. And that is an inning-ending 6-4-3. Buy one, get one free. It's Rodriguez to Leahy to Johnson. And that will return the side in the top of the 9th inning. So no insurance has been added for Stockton. You can hope that 6 runs would be enough. But after today, you just never know. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Ports 3 outs away from a Game 2 victory. Can they hang on? Stay tuned to find out as the play-by-play story unfolds. Ports on top of the Quakes 13-7 here on 1420 KSTN.
Did you wake up to Mancow this morning?
Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, hello. Talk to me, brother. You know the Walken Theater, you say?
How you doing? This is Christopher Walken. We're doing Christopher Walken Theater. Well, he's got the buff spikes chilling on top of his melon. Obviously, bro. And, dude, he's checking it.
All right, Ryan, what do you think it is?
He's got his own personal home.
Casino Man is right. Nice job. A couple won $2.3 million in the lottery. They say they met there, they fell in love. They're not going to stop working at their McDonald's. U.S. Airways has found a new way to advertise. They're putting ads on their vomit bags. And American Airlines reports they're having a big problem with mice. A woman went blind when her husband threw a carrot at her and it stuck in her eye. According to a new study, news becomes old. News is considered old. Done. Doesn't matter after 36 hours. You don't ever get sold on the Internet?
Right. That's the basis of the Internet.
That's it, man. That's what it is.
Tune in tomorrow morning for another edition of Mancow's Morning Madhouse on KSTN 1420 AM.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
To the bottom half of the 9th inning we go. Again, the Ports 3 outs away from taking Game 2 and clinching a series win. They have a 6-run lead to give them the head start here in the bottom half of the 9th. Ports 13 runs, 20 hits, no errors. And for the Quakes, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. It is Heath Castle who will come on to pitch the bottom half of the 9th inning as well. And for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes here in the bottom half of the 9th, it'll be 2-3-4. Freddy, Sandoval, Sean Rodriguez, and Michael Collins. for 4. Will step in. Singleton scored a run in the first, since then has struck out, flown out, and grounded out. Heath Castle, a nice job in the 8th inning, induced that ground ball double play off the bat of Josh LeBlanc. So, if you get the 3 final outs to finish this thing up. Here's the first pitch. Here's a swing and a flare and a shallow right. A shoestring grab there for Myron Leslie. That thing was dropping quickly. With his glove on the ground, made the catch. 1 down in the 9th, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. And a nice little effort there from Leslie as well. Rodriguez now steps in, 2 for 4, 3-run home run in the first and an RBI double back in the second. Also grounded out and struck out in his last at bat. Castle in the stretch from the belt. Here's the pitch. And the breaking ball in the inside corner misses as the count 1 ball and no strikes to Sean Rodriguez. It's been a wild one here today. In the hot afternoon sun in Southern California, but the Ports a chance to really clinch the series win, and what a big start to the road trip it would be as that pitch misses outside. 2-0 the count. Castle looks in and comes set at the belt. Setting up outside is Singleton. There's a swing and a drive, fairly deep to right center field. Back to the warning track. That's a one-hopper off the wall. Sliding into second base now, heading down to third is Rodriguez. Here comes the throw. It is a bit late. And he will have a stand-up triple here with 1 down in the 9th. And it's a shame he will probably not get another at-bat, barring a miracle here, because now with a 3-run home run, a double, and a triple, he's a single away from the cycle. And he is a one-out base runner 90 feet away as it brings up the catcher, Michael Collins. And has struck out, grounded out twice, and struck out again in the 7th. And 1 out here in the 9th. Ports up 13-7. Quakes fighting to come back. Castle trying to put the final nail in the coffin. Left-hander from the belt. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside a breaking ball. The count of 1-0 to Michael Collins. Castle in the stretch, looks in to get the sign. It's been a long afternoon behind the plate for Matt Singleton as well. Here's the 1-0. There's a swing and a foul ball back to the screen, and the count even at 1-1. 12th hit of the ball game for the Quakes. 32nd combined total hit in this ball game. He did not miss being a home run by much as well. Here's the stretch. The 1-1. Breaking ball swung on, popped up. That one right center field and playable. Coming in to make the catch is Blasey, and he will fire it right back into the infield. And that'll be out number 2 here in the 9th, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Ben Johnson. Last-ditch effort here for Rancho. Johnson 1 for 4. And the 3rd inning double is also flown out twice and grounded out once. So Johnson will step in. Again, Rodriguez at third base, 2 outs. Castle in the stretch, looks in to get the signs. From the belt, here's the pitch. Breaking ball, misses low and inside, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Ben Johnson. And here is the stretch. From the belt, the 1-0. Here's a swing and a drive to right. Leslie looks like he's got a beat on it. Makes the catch, and that is the final nail in the coffin as the Stockton Ports winners for the 2nd straight night here at the Epicenter by a final score of 13-7. We knew it was going to be a wild one after the big 8-run first inning combined for both sides. And it certainly was. Ports with 13 runs, 20 hits, no errors. The Quakes 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors. And well, I will take a real quick 90-second breather, and when I come back, we'll wrap things up. Stockton Ports post-game live, a minute and a half away for the press box of the Epicenter here on 1420 KSTN.
Ladies, some dessert today?
Okay.
I highly recommend the Diet Dr. Pepper. The flavor is divine.
That sounds good.
Frankly, I don't know why they even called it a diet.
How is that prepared?
We'll begin by gently pouring the rich, luscious Diet Dr. Pepper over ice cubes until the sweet, refreshing goodness rises to a golden halo of fizz.
Make it two. With a flavor this rich and rewarding, there's nothing diet about it. It's not a diet. It's a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Get a taste of Italy when you visit Angelina's Spaghetti House Restaurant, Lounge, and Deli, 1563 East Fremont Street in Stockton. Possibly the best homemade raviolis and pastas, along with an amazing variety of dishes of the extended Angelina's menu. Dine in or take out. Lunches and dinners, 948-6609. That's 948-6609. Most credit cards accepted. Get a taste of Italy at Angelina's Spaghetti House Restaurant, Lounge, and Deli, 1563 East Fremont Street in Stockton. The finest in Italian and American cuisine.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out for $1.
The Stockton Porch season is in full swing, so hurry to your local Sprint store and pick up a fantastic Dollar Sunday coupon. Take the whole family out to the ball game for only $1 each and catch all the action from Sprint Home Run Hill. Get your fantastic Dollar Sunday coupon and the best wireless phones in service only at Sprint. Proud sponsor of the Stockton Porch.
Buy me some peanuts and a cell phone. I love to see the Porch play at home and
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Porch. Only on 1420 KSTN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again here live from the press box in the epicenter of Rancho, Cucamonga, where the Stockton Porch for the second consecutive game winners, and here by a final score of 13-7. Again, what you need to know about this ball game really started in the first inning as we take you through the game here. Stockton announcing their presence here on a early afternoon ball game with a 4-run, 5-hit first inning capped off by a 2 RBI double from Brian Snyder. Again, it was 4-0 after a 1/2 frame of baseball. And we talked in that inning about how the opposition as of late has done a nice job answering the call against Stockton. It happened against San Jose. It happened against High Desert, and then again against the Giants when we were in San Jose, where the Porch would score a bunch of runs and give them up just the next half inning. And, well, that's exactly what happened again in the bottom half of the first as Rancho scored 4 runs on 4 hits, capped off by a solo home run from Cody Fuller. Also had a 3-run shot in that inning from Sean Rodriguez. So we were 4-4 after 1 inning. Then the Quakes would take a lead of their own, scoring 2 runs on 3 hits in the second inning. That one highlighted by a 2 RBI double from Rodriguez. And that made it a 6-4 ball game. Well, the Ports were to stay down for long. They had a 3-run third on 4 hits to take the lead, and after that they refused to look back. They scored 1 in the 4th and 4 in the 6th inning, 1 in the 7th inning as well to score 13 total runs, 20 total hits. Every single Stockton Fort in the starting 9 reached base safely. In fact, everyone got a hit except for Singleton. He did get aboard with a walk in the 7th inning. But Stockton from top to bottom really just doing a nice job here in Game 2. And for the start on the mound, Dallas Braden does go 3 innings, and he gives up a total of 6 earned runs on 7 hits, striking out 3, walking 1. But again, the no decision. The win does go to Brad Davis in relief. 3 innings of 1-run, 2-hit baseball, striking out 1 for the victory as he now improves on the season to 3-1. The loss goes to Carl Helena. Magellan, I should say, is 1-4 down with the loss after 3 innings. Gave up 7 earned runs on 11 hits as ERA skyrockets to 6.75 with the loss. And time of the game, 3 hours and 11 minutes in front of 3,661, mostly youngsters here at Daycare Day at the ballpark. But the Ports with the victory now climb above the 500 mark at 13-12. As the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes drop to 10-16 and remain in the basement of the Cal League South with the loss. Well, time for the Solstice Mortgage Player of the Game honors, and can give this to a collection of Stockton Ports. Obviously, Hans Pratt, a real nice job at first base in a 2-for-5 with a 3-run home run, a double, 2 runs scored, and 4 RBIs. Tough to say no to that, but if there's one player that trumped that here today, Myron Leslie, 4 for 4, reached base safely 6 times, 3 singles, a double, 3 runs scored, and RBI. I think that's very deserving of our Solstice Mortgage Player of the Game, brought to you by Solstice Mortgage with 2 convenient locations in Lodi and Stockton. They are your local lender who reminds you that when you're in scoring position for that new dream house, let Solstice Mortgage step up to the plate and bring you home. That's Solstice Mortgage, proud sponsors of the 2006 Stockton Ports. Well, tomorrow, Game 3 of this 3-game series. Back with a regular start time of 7:05. On the mound for Stockton will be the right-hander, Ryan Webb. Webb coming in with a win-loss record of 5-6 and an ERA of 5.23. And it should be an interesting ball game as the Ports will have a chance to pull the brooms out of the closet. Again, first pitch start time is 7:05. And I'll be on the air at 6:55 for the Dr. Pepper pregame show to wrap this up and give you a big preview of what's to come in the series finale. You know, it's been an interesting long afternoon here at the Epicenter, but one that worked out quite well for the Stockton Ports. Your final score for the final time is the Ports 13, the Quakes 7. I want to thank everybody that made this broadcast possible. Of course, all of our generous sponsors on the broadcast, and engineer is Paul Shin, sports director and producer of the ball game here today is Sean Mead. And for all of you tuning in, thanks so much for being with us. Hopefully we'll have good news again for you tomorrow. Until then, this is Bo Fulcinetti coasting into my final port and docking up for the afternoon. Take care, have a pleasant evening, and so long for the Epicenter at Rancho, Cucamonga.